The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday, boys.
Hi.
Yep.
Hi.
Andrew's got the poopy pants today.
Does he?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What do you think it means?
We just did it yesterday. Remember? The poopy pants? Like you're in a bad mood?
No, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm doing good.
I think you have reason. I think people are on your nerves.
Some people are on my nerves. Yes, that is a fact.
I'm sorry,
That
Andrew.
is a fact. It's not you.
I know.
Believe it
In this case,
believe it or not, it is not you.
For one time, it's not.
Does that feel good?
It's fine.
Somebody else.
We have this thing going on. What'd you call it? The office bromance?
Yeah, it's like your whole relationship is based on annoyance.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me annoying him mostly. Very little the other way around.
What if I do this?
He's messing with the stream.
Nothing
Yeah,
happens.
leave it
Okay.
like that.
Absolutely nothing happens. Whoa, too big. No.
No, that's good.
There you go.
There we go. Thank you.
All right.
Got you hooked up.
Appreciate it.
Are we on different platforms today?
We are. So we have found our way back, perhaps temporarily, to the DGS Facebook and YouTube page. Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta fix them.
The show never starts good. It so rarely starts good.
Okay, everybody just shh.
No, I didn't say everybody shush. I just said I
No,
had
it seemed like what you're doing was really important.
no one said anything.
If you're on the flight crew and the pilot goes, just 1 second, you just wait 1 second. You don't just keep pushing buttons. Thank you to Kira Anderson. I was just on her podcast today called Yes We Can. I think it went out live while we were doing it, which is really different. I mean, I'm used to live performance every day, but typically podcasts are recorded. I think it's going to drop on Thursday, but it was also live today. And it's not just about grief, but it is largely based on grief and, mental health. And she was absolutely lovely and a great interviewer. And we had a really good conversation. They are having a gala coming up. Her husband passed away from pancreatic cancer. And before he passed away, they put him on a new drug that was really, really helping. And so she's really spearheading trying to raise funds because, when you get a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, it's like a 2% survival.
Oh, yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And so I gave my first Cardinal package. You're the boss. No more. Well, maybe a couple more. So anyway, she's going to be on next week, and the host of her event is our pal Reed Lowe from the Blues.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll Reed back in too. He can beat up anyone you want him to beat up.
He is maybe the largest person.
He's a big dude.
Like, words do not describe. It is like seeing a statue.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey,
He
there,
starts
how you
moving.
doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Todd the Animal Ewan was even bigger, believe it or not. He had a head like a barrel. And we hung out one time. We all went down to Asymmetric Solutions and shooting guns and stuff. And we're just palling around. And Wheels, I said to Todd, I'm like, so you're a fighter. What do you like about it? And he stopped and he paused and he kind of looked away and he looked back at me and he goes, I really like getting hit in the face. I'm like, wow, that's the scariest thing I've ever heard another man say. He's like, that really motivates me. I'm like, damn, brother. That's something else.
It's a reminder to not let it happen again, right?
Good for you, man.
And my favorite Reed Lowe story is that when he was in junior hockey, he was a forward. He was a scorer, and he scored 4 goals in the game, and the scouts were there watching him, and he had 3 fights and just decimated the guys. And afterwards, the scout came up to him and said, if we give you a shot in the NHL, do you think you can do that every night? And he said, no, sir, I don't think I can score 4 goals tonight. He goes, no, can you beat people up like that? And he goes, I'm your man. And that's how he got his first shot. I just love that.
That's cool.
Had a good time last night. Went to the game with Monsignor Ted from The Priest and the Rabbi. And it was a weird game. You know, it's like the hottest night of the year. And then we had that storm blow through, which really was just... Anyone who's been to the ballpark gets this. It's almost like a different universe because you're like seeing it through this fisheye lens, you know, and the backdrop of the city. And it was really dark and lightning and stuff. So that made it kind of weird. But, you know, eventually got the game going. Not a great game, but Monsignor Ted and I had a good time.
Nice.
He was a little hard to control. I'm not going to lie to you. So he was just chatting people up. By the 3rd inning, he was drunk as a skunk. He went out to the tarps off, and he's just,
The classic.
So he was one of the people leading the turning the backs on Pete Crow Armstrong.
he was all about it.
All right.
He was all about it.
Figured he'd be the one leading the way.
Really let his hair down.
Yeah.
No, he was great.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Is Pete Crow Armstrong one of those guys who loves being unlikable?
I think so.
I think so, too.
I think he enjoys...
He's like maybe the most unlikable dude in baseball.
Yeah, but not in Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
The hometown fans love him. Those guys, that's not unusual. People, I mean, think the version of that for St. Louis is Yachty.
Yeah.
People in other cities hated Yachty.
Yeah.
Why is he always angry? Why is he always being a tough guy? That's because he is, and that's how his personality is, and he doesn't care if you like him because he's a Cardinal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's not his job. His job is to have Cardinal fans like him, and that's all he cared about.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah, I love Contreras.
They're very different. Like Yachty wasn't as out there as PCA, right? He was not cursing at ladies.
No,
in the
I never
bar
felt like Yachty was looking for attention.
No.
Whereas
He's just really
PCA
intense.
seems to really enjoy,
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing the crowd.
He's got some Hollywood in him.
Yeah, that's okay.
Nope. Team sport needs it.
You need villains.
Hey, Reggie Jackson had that Hollywood thing too back in the day. It's not like it didn't do him any favors with visiting fans, but his home teams loved him.
Absolutely. I got to hear a little bit of Gas House Gang and the interview with Ollie.
Yeah.
Did Bernie ask his question?
Yeah, about Matthew Liberatore.
About Matthew Liberatore?
Yeah, and all the guys really did, and it was an interesting conversation because the question about Liberatore was simply, and Bernie framed it really well. If you look at Liberatore's numbers, he's been one of the 5 worst starters in baseball this year. And the problem with it is, even if you go back to June of last year, he's still been one of like the 7 or 8 worst starters in baseball, and that's over 40 starts. So the question basically was, what do you do? Like, what can you do? And it started off with, with Ollie talking about, well, we don't want to send him down. He has nothing to prove in AAA. I would push back on that a little bit. Like, it's not about whether or not he has anything to prove there.
Yeah,
it's about whether or not you can get back on track without hurting the team while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happening. He's trying to figure out how he can get back to where he was when he was pitching well. But while he's doing that, it hurts the team because he's getting rocked. They're losing those games. And then when he has his short outings, typically it ruins the bullpen for days. Yesterday, that didn't happen because they had Hunter Dobbins ready, and Dobbins just finished the game, which was great because the rest of the bullpen got the day off.
Yeah.
But there's only so many times you can do that. And if you're going to hold a guy like Dobbins just in case Libby has a crappy start, well, now you're pitching with a short bullpen 80% of the time. Because that's one guy, one spot you cannot use the other 4 games in a 5-man rotation.
So I don't know.
So it's not ideal, and I don't understand the logic of saying he has nothing to prove. Neither does Nolan Gorman. He has nothing to prove at Memphis. It's not about what you have to prove at AAA. It's about making improvements to your game while not hurting the major league team at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know Libby's history, but when was the last time he was good, and how long was he good?
I mean, he was good at periods of time this year. There were stretches where he was good. He was really good in the first 2 months last year. So April and May last year, he was outstanding. And he did, I think, have a good September last year, too, because he had a long stretch where he just kind of hit a wall. But when you take it in totality, when you have here, I mean, I did some Bernie type numbers just to have it in front of me. This year, he's got the 4th worst ERA of any pitcher with 100 innings. So that's all the starters who have made most of their starts, right? Well, when you're 4th worst in that, and then the underlying numbers match that, you give up more hard contact than almost anybody in the sport. It's hard to get back to being good because, and I thought this is the great part. That, like what Ollie, the only part about Ollie's answer that I was a little confused by was the whole he has nothing to prove thing. The rest of it was really interesting and enlightening because he was talking about, look, he has to get ahead in counts because when he falls behind, he doesn't have the kind of raw stuff where you can get away with mistakes. It's just that simple, you know? It's just that simple. You don't have the freedom to be like, well, it's 2-0, here comes a fastball, because if you do that, they hit it. He doesn't have the Mizorowski fastball. He doesn't have that, and that's okay. You can be good without that. McGreevy has less velocity than Liberatore does. What's the difference? Well, McGreevy throws strikes with all of his pitches, and not just in the strike zone, but in the part of the strike zone that he wants to throw it to. And it's a hard thing to be good and to avoid being in big innings when you can't do that.
What do you think?
They did also, by the way, say that they're considering an opener for him at times, depending on how the bullpen's being used, which would be an interesting idea. And he did not kill the idea of maybe moving him to the bullpen while he tries to get right. He did say that's a better question than whether or not he should go down because obviously we want to see him work on things here. But if that role if it made more sense, then maybe they'll do that here in the not too distant future.
Couple things. It feels to me, could be wrong, it feels to me like we're too soft on our guys. That we wait too long. We see things in them that they don't have. I don't know. I thought that about Walker, and I was wrong. But
well, no, I mean,
like if you have a guy on your starting
Walker,
rotation that you need another guy to pitch with, I know you just can't go out and get Sales or someone like that, but what are you doing? If you have a starting pitcher in your rotation who can't start a game by himself and he needs someone else backing him up a lot of the time,
that may be the sign that they did this. That may be the sign that their patience is running out, right? The fact that they went out of their way to keep Dobbins in the majors and not use him and leave their bullpen short for 4 days. The fact that they did that might be a sign that they're starting to change their view on how they do it. The Cardinals, I think, are notoriously slow to change. But I think that's
Agreed.
I think it's a common thing in baseball, though, but we don't follow other teams as closely as we follow our own team.
Yeah.
Some of that has to do with who's getting paid what, right? Some of that has to do with what your other options might be. Well, the Cardinals do have a couple of options right now that would fit into a rotation spot. And again, we're not talking about getting rid of Liberatore. But the difference between like Liberatore and Walker, like Walker last year, with Walker, we could still see he's got elite bat speed. Like he's Aaron Judge with how fast he swings the bat and how hard he hits the ball. The equivalent of that on the pitching side would be Liberatore throwing 100. If he threw 100, you could be like, all right, well, I see what's going. His problem is that he just doesn't command his stuff well enough, and that's not about high-end ability. That's just repeatability. That's fixable, but it's not getting fixed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have nothing against Libby. I like him. I'm totally fine. But in this rebuild year, and this is how he's playing, I would much rather have someone from AAA come up and give them a shot and see what they look like.
Well, I mean, they need to get a long look at Dobbins.
Yeah.
He's been at least respectable in every time he's pitched. Wasn't great yesterday, but he also came into less than ideal circumstances in the middle of a game instead of starting a game. Quinn Matthews has been on a tear at Memphis. He's one of their top prospects. He's due. And in fact, again, today on Gas House, if you guys missed it, you want to go back and listen to it because Ollie touched on a bunch of things that were really interesting. And one of them was Quinn Matthews and the fact that it may be not too long before he's going to get his opportunity to get a look. And they also talked about the offense. And look, that's his biggest story as anything else. They can't hit. They haven't hit in a month.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. Attorney Brad Young coming up at the bottom of the hour. He'll have some Brad stories, talk some politics. Right now, I want to tell you about Bethesda. Like I said, I did the podcast today with Kira, and we talked about losing my mom and the No One Dies Alone hospice work that I've been doing and what that has meant to me. If you guys want to get involved with that, we're still taking volunteers. You can go to BethesdaHealth.org and just send them a message, let them know that you're interested in doing the No One Dies Alone. What they're offering, I think what they're offering you guys is wonderful, because most places like Bethesda are going to have salespeople. I remember when my dad went in the nursing home to the place in Illinois, and the salesperson was nice and lovely and shiny and sparkly, and then the place sucked. It was terrible. And I've always said over the years, like, hey, if you're going to a nursing home, just be careful who you trust. What we're doing with Bethesda through this advertising is we're offering Michelle, who has been an executive at Bethesda for 31 years. It was pretty much her whole career. And I happen to love Michelle. She just has a heart of gold. And if you guys are anywhere along that journey, whether it's you and you're my age, a little above, and you're thinking about, I want to get rid of the house, I want to get rid of the yard work and the upkeep and move into an independent living apartment building. We have 7 of those, and they're just beautiful. We have assisted living, we have skilled nursing, we have hospice care, memory care, all over town, north, south, east, and west. And if you want to talk about it to someone who cares and who is well-informed, go to BethesdaHealth.org, hit the Contact Us button, let them know who you are, you're from the DGS, and you'd like to talk to Michelle, and she'll get back with you.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
There's a saying, it takes a group of good men to build a barn, and only one to tear it down. Well, a few Jeff City politicians are at it again, tearing things down, with Amendment 5 and Amendment 4. No on 5 and 4. 5 takes our money, with higher sales taxes, higher taxes on gas, guns, and groceries, a sales tax hike on rent and diesel, seed and feed. 4 takes away our constitutional right to vote and go around the establishment politicians and to stop higher taxes. Takes away our safety valve, a vote of the people to stop or reverse a dumb idea like the everything tax. I'm a no. A heck no. No. No on Amendment 5. No on Amendment 4. No on both 4 and 5. Paid for by no on the everything tax.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 125. It's okay if we say where Rach is, right?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, don't give like the address.
No, she's in D.C. with Kurt, and they're both tennis freaks, and they're at a professional tennis match, and she just sent us a pic, and it's super cool.
Yeah.
It's like being behind home plate. Like, they have great seats. Good for Rach.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Ask how her hat game was, because she was concerned about her hat, and she's going hatless.
All right.
So,
yeah, I'm jealous to hear that it's nice in D.C.
Supposed to get nice here.
Yeah.
My air conditioner's on the fritz, so I'm living and dying with every degree, but it's like 70s over the weekend.
You got a nice fan, though, I'm guessing, right?
I got a lot of nice fans.
See?
I'm a fan guy. Yeah.
Hey, we're not just talking about the stream. Hey, come on now.
Oh, look at you. You know what? At 61, I've decided I'm not going to do certain things, and I'm totally fine with it. For example, I am never in my life going to take an ice bath. Whatever benefit that has for me, I'll do without that benefit.
Yeah.
Taking an ice bath is horrible.
Yeah, that's a
it
good
just
call.
is. Shut up. And I'm not climbing Sleeping Bear dune in Michigan where it takes like 5 hours to get back up. I'm not doing the Manitoba, whatever it is, staircase that's 2,500 steps. I guess it makes me a worse person because I don't want to challenge myself. Like, I'll do physical things as long as I'm having fun doing them. And if you have fun taking ice baths and climbing up 2,500 stairs, knock yourself out.
He's dying to tell you how much he loves taking.
No, I don't.
That's why we just can't look. We can't look at him, Dave. We have to just pretend he's not even here.
He's not even on the show.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's talking.
Yeah, God forbid. God forbid somebody is not sensitive to everything. Man.
I'm not even sure what that meant.
The things that bother him, the things that bother other people just don't bother him.
No, but the things that bother me don't seem to bother other people. It's kind of how it works, right?
Well, that actually is a good point.
So you like ice baths?
I don't like them, but they're very useful when you're injured and recovering. No, I'm not going to do it for fun.
You know what else is? Laying on the couch.
Yeah.
Put some ice in a glass.
Yeah.
Have a beverage.
You got an injury, though. That ice bath feels good when you're done.
Tell you guys about Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, and I'm going to cut right to the chase. They are signaling, they being the Fed, that they could raise interest rates again, which is going to, play havoc on the real estate market. And it's fortuitous that Stewie started doing this a couple of months ago before all that chatter started, that he is doing a deal where if you do an original 30-year mortgage with him, the bagel loan, where you pay no fees. That's why it's called the bagel loan. Bagel looks like a zero. You pay zero fees. Great, terms for you. He will give you 1% less on your interest rate for the first 12 months that you have the loan, which could really make a difference now because they had been expecting the rates to go down between a year and a year and a half from now. Now, no one really knows what's going to happen. But if you are in the market, you want to do a debt refinancing, a consolidation, like I said, an original mortgage, he will take that percentage rate, whatever you qualify for, take 1% down, and that's what you get for your first 12 months. Stewie's a great guy, will really, really take care of you. You can't get a better deal. Here's his cell phone, 314-324-4440. Even if you're halfway through a deal with another company, check it out. 314-324-4440, NMLS 226715.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is brought to you by Scott Credit Union.
Summer is still with us this afternoon, but not the brutal heat and humidity of Sunday and Monday. Winds are starting to turn to the northwest. Here comes a little cool front. We'll take it. Partly sunny skies, couple of spot thunderstorms. Now, it's still humid. It's still very warm, 93 degrees, but things are going to be improving. Some clouds around tonight, some spot storms, 71 Wednesday. It's all about the northwest flow. Sunny skies. We'll notice the drop in temperature and humidity. 89 on Wednesday, 69 Wednesday night, and Thursday sunny, and 89 again. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You might think KMOX is just a radio station, but it's really a conversation about the city we love, the teams we cheer for, the things we celebrate, the things we debate, the issues we care about. The stories happening right outside your door. The things that matter. We're talking about you. 104.1 FM, KMOX. Join the conversation. Everyone's welcome.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports, and she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working-class tax cut in American history, kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Attorney Brad Young joins us. Hello, Brad.
Hey, Dave.
How are you?
You know, I'm doing well. No complaints. I had a vacation a couple of weeks ago, so sharpen the sword and back at it.
Very nice. I am covered up in being overly busy with stuff I love to do. Does that make sense? Like
it does because when it's stuff you want to do, unlike stuff you don't want to do, you're not looking for ways not to do it.
Yeah, you're right. Like I just have a bunch of crap this week that's just crap. But then I have fun stuff to do. I had a game last night with Monsignor. I have band practice tonight. I have band practice tomorrow night. I have not done the practicing I should for vocals or drums. And you know how to just feel like everything's backing up on you? I think what I'm trying to say is I'm especially sensitive and fragile because I'm pretty protected in my life, right? I have producers and, you know, that kind of thing who call the people and give them the bad news instead of me. So then when something like this, I'm just like, oh, my God, how am I going to ever learn Walking on a Thin Line by Huey Lewis? You know what I mean?
I do know because when I was playing in my band years ago, there would be times where like 10 minutes before the set started, the guitar player would say, hey, I've been working on this. We're going to do this. And it's going to be the third song in the set. I'm like, oh, okay, never played it before, but let's go get them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so yeah, I know the feeling.
Okay, lots of interesting stuff to talk about. Let's start with Kohlberger,
yeah.
And so I did not know that this was even a thing. That once you pled guilty and admitted to what you did, I knew that you could appeal a verdict based on ineffective assistance of counsel. But I just figured that if you said, hey, by the way, I don't like prison, I want to go back and have a trial, that they'd just laugh at you.
Well, they are laughing. I mean, they're laughing, but they're not laughing publicly because the bar on this is so high. But let me again just kind of summarize what's happening is that we've all followed this Bryan Kohberger situation. And I was disappointed actually when he pled guilty because I thought the evidence was overwhelming. And Idaho has the death penalty. And if there's a case that warranted the death penalty, this is it. I mean, he killed him for sport. He did it just to see if he could get away with it. He killed 4 people. It was brutal. He had no connection to them. He stalked them beforehand. I mean, he checks every box for why we still have the death penalty.
And you know
when
what?
He pled guilty.
Those girls look just like my daughter, same age, live in a house that looks just like where Phoebe lives. It's just way too close to home for so many of us.
It really is. I've got 3 girls. It really appealed to me affected me rather emotionally. And but legally even, it just checked all the boxes, right? This is why we have the death penalty, is for a case just like this. And Idaho also, for the death penalty, they allow the firing squad. Yeah. I mean, you want to get Renaissance on this guy. I mean, this is the way to do it, right? So he pled guilty, but now he's saying, well, I lied. My attorneys coerced me into doing this. And this actually happens frequently. And thankfully, though, there's 2 things that really means Bryan Kohberger is not going to be able to walk this back. Number one, the bar is really high. I mean, you've got to prove so much. You've got to have documents, memos, letters, statements showing that they had ineffective counsel. I mean, you practically have to have a memo that says, I'm instructing you to lie when you're on the stand, when you're for the sentencing. And none of that's going to be existing here. None of it. And then secondly, there's something called a colloquy. And we saw it here, and we saw it in so many other cases where the judge asks the defendant, are you guilty? Did you do it? Did you intentionally do it? They ask him like 30 different questions every which way but Tuesday, just to get to the fact that he can't walk all that back. And so this isn't going anywhere. This is him being bored, him missing the spotlight, and this is going to be a 2-day story.
You know, anyone capable of doing what he did is clearly bonkers, right? But he doesn't seem stupid. And like in the 1940s and 50s, you could kill anybody and get away with it, right? I mean, the police would be like, did you kill your wife? You're like, no. They're like, okay, see you later. But these days, like no reasonable person would think that you can stab 4 people to death and get away with it. You know, it just seems so cuckoo that he didn't see that this would be the eventuality.
Right. And it just shows this guy does have so many issues. But he's thinking, I think, this is all about publicity. And also, I think he maybe envisions himself as wanting to write a book and profit off of this. Jeez. And you can't do any of that when you're convicted of a crime. And so and that all just feeds into his delusions. But again, I see this as a couple of day story. Judge denies everything. It goes away. But it's just a reminder that this is the poster child case for the death penalty. And even though, the death penalty is the ultimate thing that a government can do to you, there are still circumstances that warrant it. And this is it.
Okay. Weird exit ramp here. I know it's not legal. I know it would never happen. I'm just curious about the psychology in the room. If it could happen and they said, yeah, he's going to be put to death, and what's going to happen is all of the dads of those kids are going to get to stab him, would you guys be like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying
me
I'm
too.
right. I'm just saying.
I feel a little monstrous, but I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to go
Scratches
anyway.
that part of your brain, right?
Yeah. Which I guess is why we have the laws to protect us from that part of the brain that gets scratched.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Exactly. I mean, we don't want to be like in The Simpsons, right? Where every time there's a mob and pitchforks and burning, they got the pitchforks and the torches coming after somebody. I mean, we have laws to make sure that doesn't happen. But boy, if there was ever a case where that would feel good, this is it.
So the Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow mail-in ballot restrictions. Brad, if you could address this legally and politically, like what do you think is motivating this?
Well, I think what's motivating it is this Trump obsession that the elections are rigged. And I'll be the first to admit I've never seen any evidence that would be sufficient to overturn any election in my lifetime. The only one that I know of that may have happened in was when Kennedy was running for president in the early 60s, and Chicago is what made the difference. But again, that was before my lifetime. But Trump's obsessed with this. And I will also admit that there is fraud in voting. I mean, we just saw this recently out of a couple of states where there was an admission that illegals have voted, but it's always in small numbers and would not overturn the election. But Trump is obsessed with this. So now he wants to put restrictions on mail-in ballots, and he filed an emergency Supreme Court application asking to pause this federal injunction that blocks key parts of Trump's March 31 executive order that said that all of these states have to comply with lots of rules for mail-in ballots, and he's trying to get a block on it. And I don't think it'll be successful, but that's the action that he's taking.
So, Brad, I don't think that you think the Democrats are using the mail-in ballots to cheat, but do you think it favors the Democrats, and if so, why?
Oh, politically, clearly, mail-in ballots favor Democrats, and I'll tell you why. Because typically, and again, I'm being very overly generalistic here, but generally speaking, most of the economic lower class will vote Democrat. They don't have the resources to take off work. They don't have the resources, perhaps, to get a car, to drive to vote. So that is the segment of the population that tends to vote more often by mail. And again, I'm overgeneralizing, but that's the reality of it. Where we've had fraud in this, look at the LA mayoral election that happened like a month or so ago. There was verified evidence, video evidence of people in homeless camps who admitted that people came by and paid them between $5 and $20 to vote for Karen Bass, the Democrat, for mayor. So I clearly think that there is fraud. There's evidence of fraud, but that's really not the question. The question is there sufficient fraud to warrant steep restrictions on otherwise legal voting procedures? And I think when you put that on the scale, it's hard to say it's okay to put in draconian procedures when the fraud is really just around the margins.
And Minnesota has tried to ban Kalshi, the poly market, but a judge has blocked that.
Well, yeah. And listen, we're on the cusp of lots of litigation on these poly markets. And for folks who don't know what that is, it's literally legalized gambling, right? And I don't know who bets on these, but it seems like the only people that win are the people that have inside information. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. You bet on when Trump is going to arrest Maduro. Well, somebody bet on that, and shockingly, he was in the FBI and knew exactly when the arrest was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but listen, Minnesota is trying to put some restrictions, some guardrails on that, and a federal judge has blocked it because of this whole issue that we constantly deal with in this country, which is not a bad thing. But how far can state courts go to block or to place restrictions on things that are nationally allowed? And that's a give and the take that we see legally all the time. This is the first attempt that I've seen on a state trying to put guardrails on these prediction markets. And the question is going to be, how is this going to turn out at the end? And right now we don't know.
I saw a TikTok yesterday, Wheels. You would know who these guys were. They're sports guys, like pretty well known, but I didn't know their names. But they were really vehemently against the poly markets. And they said, if anyone, pardon me, makes a bet on anything other than sports, you are a giant loser.
Huh.
How'd that hit you?
I mean, I think that's a bit extreme, but I understand where they're going, right? I wouldn't limit it to quote unquote just sports, but it does seem off to be betting on things that actually matter, where there also is likely inside information that's being out there, right? Because nobody has inside information on how Michael McGreevy's going to pitch tonight. Nobody knows. We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We can suspect, but like we won't know until we see it. Versus what we've seen already with the dude that runs the teleprompter at the White House. Well, he knew in advance what was coming.
Yeah.
So the fact that that's possible is what makes it sketchy to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm not saying it should be. But it raises questions, and it should be regulated. It should be monitored.
This is a very big hyperbolic statement, but it just feels like the wheels coming off of society. Just like the fact that we have this giant poly market where I guess I could go on it and say, like, hey, what's the Sweet 16 going to be on the Dave Glover Show next Monday? And people are like, it's going to be the best, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels.
I'm going to go bet on it.
Feels icky. Yeah. Brad,
Right. So I don't blame Minnesota for trying to put some guardrails on this, but I think the question is, can a state even do that since it involves federal law? And if a state can't do it, then how do we get something through Congress that can't even agree that today is Tuesday?
Yeah.
You know, how are we going to get something through there?
How's this different than marijuana laws or just sports betting laws? Because every state has their own law based on that, regardless of what the federal law is.
Right. But with marijuana, there's a wink and a nod.
Sure,
that's
but
going on
how
here.
is it different? I'm not trying to be combative, but what is the difference between Kalshi and those other things like that and FanDuel or, you know, any other sports book where it depends on what state you're in? As we found out here in Missouri, it was illegal here until it wasn't, and that had nothing to do with the federal government.
Right, because the federal government had not already exercised authority over that. Under the 10th Amendment, whatever isn't given to the federal government is reserved for the states. Gambling is one of those things. So that was the 10th Amendment issue. I think this is also equally a 10th Amendment issue because the federal government hasn't exercised authority in this area.
Right.
However, there are federal laws that already govern this situation. And we're going to see how the courts deal with this idea, what we call federalism.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Remind you guys, I won't say tell you guys, I say that way too much. It could become like a little crutch for me, but remind you, because we talk about her every day, of Dr. Kathy Maupin. And like Wheels has his own client, and when we're kind of selling you the same thing, just two different avenues to do it. But what we agree on is at some point in your life, unless you're just superhuman, you're going to feel a change. It's probably more pronounced for women, you know, with all the things you guys have to deal with perimenopause and menopause and hot flashes and changes to your moods and libido and such. Like with most things, men have it a little bit easier. But for a man, you may notice that you don't have the sex drive you used to, that if the situation comes up, you don't have the performance that you used to. That in and of itself can lead to anxiety and depression and all sorts of things. And you're already going to be feeling that way because when your testosterone drops, That's your mojo. You remember when you got it when you were 13 or 14 years old, and you lose it when you're 45, 50, 60, and Dr. Kathy Maupin can replace it. She does it through pellets. I get new pellets every 5 or 6 months. Been doing it for, I think I'm in my 7th or 8th year. No complaints. Everything works the way it's supposed to work. I've had no bad side effects. And then right next door is BioBalance Skin. I've had most of the treatments over there. You know, they're always having, hey, come on in, have this one, that one. So I'm 61. I don't have much of a face, but it might look a little younger than that. And part of that's due to Kathy Maupin. For all things bio, go to biobalancehealth.com.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration.
Relive the magic of the 1904 World's Fair when the heartwarming hometown favorite Meet Me in St. Louis returns to the Muni stage August 6th through 13th. Sponsored by Commerce Bank and Commerce Trust Company. Your seats are waiting at muni.org.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Rach is out for the week, having a great time in D.C. at a professional tennis tournament today. Looks gorgeous. Good for her. She deserves it. She works really hard. So, yeah, just the boys for the rest of the week. I think we've held things together pretty well.
So
It's been
far.
one show.
Yeah, it's going good. So far.
1.1.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just keep believing that.
Let's do.
Then we can maybe finish the week that way.
Kevin and I almost got in a fight about ice baths, which would have led me into an ice bath had it gone any farther.
I would never.
I depend on that. I depend on that. You would never. So, like to get a little snarky, but do you guys see the lady? I forget her name. She is a professor at UPenn, and she did like the definitive modern translation of the Odyssey, and that's what motivated Chris Nolan, because he read it, to do the Odyssey.
Oh.
And she saw it and did a review and just raked him.
Oh, no.
She said that she would be embarrassed to have written the script that it was cringe and it was terrible. She hated it.
That's not very nice.
No, it's weird, right?
That kind of falls into the thing we talked about yesterday, though. When you're an expert in something, all you can see when someone else touches that subject is how much they don't know. That's me with sports movies. I can't watch Moneyball. I won't ever watch it because I know I will hate every single thing that they did with it.
And that's so funny because my level of baseball knowledge, I love that movie.
And look, other baseball people do too.
I was a little disappointed when you started telling me, like, well, yeah, but they also had this guy and one of the best pitching staffs. I'm like, stop, you're ruining my fantasy.
It's kind of the point that it's not the movie makers that got it wrong. It's the way the story just was portrayed overall in the book and by people who covered baseball. We're like, Moneyball. They look at these little things they did on the margins. I'm like, well, yeah, but they also had 7 first-round draft picks that were traditional old-school star players that they got because they were stinky before that.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, winning on the margins. It was also getting stars in the first round of the draft.
Yeah.
But, I get where that person's coming from. I think we all do to a degree. Like, if you know a topic really well and someone does it, they're going to have to be pretty damn good to impress you.
Yep. True. Tell you guys about my friend Mike at Michael's Baths. He will definitely impress you. He's even more impressive. Would I love it if you only got one bid and it was Mike? Yeah, of course. That would be great. But would I understand it if you also got a bid from Bath Fitters and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath? Absolutely. If I didn't know him as well as I do, I would as well. But he's going to be 30 to 50% less expensive. He's going to do the same basic job that they do. But this is not getting ready to lower the boom. Like, it's not going to be quite as good, but you're saving 50%. No, it's going to be every bit as good and probably better. He has better products, better materials, all made in the USA. The other guys can't say that. He's great at it. He recruited and hired everyone who works for him, taught them the Michael's Baths way of doing things. If you are a disabled veteran, you can get a bathroom remodel for no money out of your pocket through a VA benefit. Mike can walk you through how to do that. Contact him at 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old-timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your politician's Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, helping politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people. And the politician's Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside Forward 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, effectively ending our power to stop corrupt and out-of-control politicians.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the politicians' Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for fair government.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. It's all about time.
Save time and money.
Do it now, don't wait till later. Call the top-notch renovator. It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
This summer, local events are happening all over the place, and I3 Broadband is a big part of it. At I3, we love being part of the neighborhood and are proud to support the events that make our communities great. We're also proud to deliver 100% fiber-to-home internet, recognized as Greater St. Louis's next-door neighborhood fave. We give you lightning-fast speeds and reliable performance. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and I3 Broadband is here for you.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
At 2 o'clock, we've got clouds. It is 92 degrees downtown at the Arch. St. Louis City is receiving additional funding from FEMA.
The funding is nearly $3 million and will go towards keeping the case managers who are assisting tornado victims employed. Mayor Kara Spencer says those employees were previously paid for by the city, and those funds were running dry.
The funding that we had allocated here locally was really set to sunset here or run out in August, and so this allows us to keep that work going.
However, how far will it help speed up the case manager workload? Numbers provided by a spokesperson for the city show around 1,000 individuals still in the system, with only around 10 case managers handling them. Spencer cannot say if these funds will allow them to hire more case managers. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
From ABC News. Today, President Trump met with two world leaders. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the president met at the White House. And the meeting comes as the president has been critical of the Israeli operation in Lebanon. ABC's Karen Travers is there.
We do not have a readout from the White House about what took place in that meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister, but there's a potential for some tensions because the two have had a bit of a tense relationship in recent weeks as it relates to the war with Iran and, of course, Israel's recent strikes in Lebanon, which have complicated the situation as the U.S. has tried to reach a deal with Iran.
President Trump also met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The late Senator Lindsey Graham is being eulogized in Washington's services, drawing colleagues and world leaders alike.
At the Capitol, where Graham served more than 30 years.
Lindsey Graham was impossible not to like.
Vice President Vance was among those honoring his ex-colleague.
A true American original.
Top Senate Republican John Thune called Graham a towering figure, choking back tears while remembering him cracking up a room.
I look forward to the days when you make us all laugh again.
The Capitol Rotunda ceremony came hours before a funeral at Washington National Cathedral. Graham will be buried tomorrow in his native South Carolina after dying at 71. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Gambling has now been officially recognized as an addiction in Illinois. Here's Carolina Garibay.
Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a bill Friday that officially recognizes gambling disorder as an addiction in Illinois. This allows the Illinois Department of Human Services to offer programs and support to compulsive gamblers and affected families. Before the bill, people could only receive state-funded inpatient services if they also had a substance use disorder that required inpatient treatment. Supporters of the bill say it raises awareness for the addiction, one that impacts more than 1 million people in Illinois.
The Dow from Stifel's up 587 points to 52,797.
Summer is still with us this afternoon, but not the brutal heat and humidity of Sunday and Monday. Winds are starting to turn to the northwest. Here comes a little cool front. We'll take it. Partly sunny skies, couple of spot thunderstorms. Now, it's still humid. It's still very warm, 93 degrees, but things are going to be improving. Some clouds around tonight, some spot storms, 71. Wednesday, it's all about the northwest flow. Sunny skies. We'll notice the drop in temperature and humidity. 89 on Wednesday, 69 Wednesday night, and Thursday sunny, and 89 again. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. We've got clouds. It's 92 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. With Rach out, we've had some of our friends coming in to help us out. Yesterday we had Trish. Today we have Trisha Everding. We're thick with Trishas.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that
and
was
they're all
the
cool.
qualifier, right?
Yeah, we need more
Trisha.
Trishas.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Hey.
Yeah, I think it's always nice to have you in. Tell your history with the
How far back do
company.
you wanna go?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go all the way back.
All the way back.
I was
okay.
born.
November 12th, 1988. So I have been with the company, I think it's 13 years now. I started as an intern on 97.1 in our digital department.
Okay.
And that was like a 3-month unpaid at the time, shooting Dave Glover videos, putting your face on the website, whatever it was at the time. And I think we've talked about this before, but Annie Fry actually came into my management class in college and showed a Dave video. And your video was like, I'm in radio, I'm Dave Glover. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And you're like, most of you will try and never make it. This is super hard.
Sounds like me.
It was like very like you. You were very like, this is not for everybody. It's probably not for you, but also it's pretty cool. And I was like, all right, I want to go there. So I did that for a few months, and then maternity leaves. I filled in, started producing, worked my way up, and now I manage our sister station, 97.1.
You've been around a while.
Yeah.
You and Andrew are about the same amount. Andrew's 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, were you there a little before me then?
Yeah, I've been around since 2010.
You started in producing?
Yeah, well, so I started as an intern on the show.
For the same reason.
Producing,
Literally,
yeah.
I gave that speech at Lewis and Clark, and he heard it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Look at you recruiting.
Yeah.
And you know what? Thank goodness you were. And Steve and I were just talking about this. Nobody's recruiting anymore. Like, we are not doing a good job in this industry of bringing in new talent and the next generation of broadcasters.
Yeah, totally agree. So your little boy's 2.
Yeah, just turned 2.
I love that age.
It's so fun.
We're just talking about it.
So unpredictable.
They're like little, unreasonable, easy to knock over humans.
The sweetest. He's been waking up in the morning going, "Are you ready, Mama?" Like, yes, I am. Like, good morning to you, you like bright spot. But also, I was saying this off air. We had a 10-minute fit over a banana that he asked for. Like, I gave it to him. I peeled it. I handed it to him, and then he got very upset about it. So then he threw
Because it was peeled?
Well, but he asked for it peeled because he's smart. So he said, like, peel banana. Peel. There's a song. So I peeled it, gave it to him. He got very mad. He threw it. Then the dog ate it. Then he was mad the dog ate it. Then he was mad that there wasn't more for the dog to eat. It was a whole meltdown.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's 2.
Wheels and I were talking about this because I made the joke that all the ways that you describe your son also apply to Wheeler. And in fact, I've seen him melt down over a banana.
Yeah.
He said he sang the song, Peel Banana,
Yep.
and Andrew did it. And then he's like, no, I didn't want to peel that way. But Kevin made the
For
point.
some reason, when I threw it, Ranji ate it.
Yeah. Well, Ranji eats what you throw at him.
It was weird.
But I was saying that one of my many character flaws is that I have realized I love to complain. I love to complain. Poor Rachel gets the brunt of it, right?
'Cause you
She
share an
just knows.
office.
The people you're closest
Yeah,
to.
she
do.
comes in, she sits down, she's
Feels
like,
good.
all right, let me have it. And I'm having a difficult week, so I'm really complaining. And then Wheels made a really good point that he releases the same energy, but he does it in a burst.
Right.
Whereas I'm going to... It's like the Chinese water torture.
Like
You're going to
a
hear
slow
this.
release.
Yeah, this is going to go on for 20 minutes.
You're a rain shower. I'm a storm.
Yeah, you just blow through
Yep.
and you're like, what the hell was that?
Yep.
So,
But I think it's all related to the same idea that you have these things that are bothering you and you feel better after you let it out. I mean,
kids are the perfect example.
Yeah, I mean, when I
feelings.
lose my crap, whether it can be the dumbest thing, but when I lose my crap afterwards, once I've calmed down, I feel better.
I've started going when I am about to break because obviously I don't want to throw or start swinging or anything. I will go into another room and I will put a pillow on my face and scream into it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
It feels good, doesn't it?
It's like one of the only things that'll get me through some of those the banana tantrums. I will walk into another room. I will scream as loud as I can. And I will go back. I'm like, okay, let's try again.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I just don't use the pillow.
But
That's
I also
basically-
like to complain, so I don't know what that says about me. I kind of like doing both things.
It says that you deal with it both ways.
So I said something that became kind of controversial, 15 years ago. And in a nutshell, what I said is that so I was hit as a kid, and it was very important to me to not hit my kids at all.
Yep.
Like I was hit beyond spankings, but I didn't even want to spank because I didn't want that to be the gateway drug. And I never did. Never touched them once. I'm very proud of that. But I said every parent knows what it feels like to want to.
Yeah.
You don't do it, but we all know that feeling. People are like, you're a monster. I've never wanted to hit my... And I'm like, okay.
It actually makes me scared to leave mine with other people because I'm like, I understand why somebody would want to hit you. And I know how I handle this, but I don't want to put you in a situation where somebody doesn't have the same self-control because they don't love you as much.
Exactly. Exactly right.
I get it.
Yeah. Parenting is not for wussies, man.
No, but the thing that is, there's no secret because every kid's different, right? Every kid's personality is different, and yours is different. So you're always trying to find the balance in those things. But having a plan and like the way you said it, Dave, is like, I'm not doing this. I know what I want to accomplish, but I also know how I do and don't want to get there.
Yeah.
And then find a way to make that work, because I never spanked either, not once. And some of it was luck because my kid was pretty chill, right? She didn't do anything that would really push that far. But I know I did as a kid, and I didn't get spanked much, here and there, just a little bit. And I just don't think it's as necessary as previous generations thought it was, because other things worked. To me, they worked better. It worked better to take away something the kid really cares about and then follow through on it. And it's always the follow through. If you don't follow through on threats, they learn that and they will push, because that's what humans do. And little humans who don't know better do it even more because they're trying to figure out what they can get away with.
Yeah, it's so true. It just seems to me that we are at our purest human expression as toddlers. And one of our human expressions is manipulation, right? We all do it in our own ways.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're 2, 3, 4, there's nothing on the other side of that. There's nothing inside you saying, I probably shouldn't manipulate mom about this banana.
You're like, here's what I want.
Yeah.
Whatever I need to do.
What do I
get
need to
there.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw a fit, make you laugh.
Well, they also learn around that age, maybe a little older, but also they learn to play one parent off the other. Where if dad says no, maybe mom will say yes, or maybe the other way around. Like they'll try. It doesn't always work.
I'll have to pay attention to that.
Usually my question was, when my kid would do that, would be she would come ask me a thing. I'm like, did you ask your mom that yet? What did she say? And then it's kind of like, then you're starting to unravel the story a little bit.
We're just going through this. Like Maureen still gives me crap because she'll say things like, you're just stop making everything Phoebe says and does okay. And she's not wrong, right? I'm trying to be the cool one. You're already the smart one that makes the railroad go.
Is she basically saying, don't make me the bad cop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
That's the way it goes all the time.
Hey, in my house, dad was the bad cop, mom was the good cop. That's just how it was. In our house, we were pretty even. Susan and I pretty even. We were both like middling cops. Nobody was the good one, nobody was the bad one. But it's always going to be different because it's also based on the personality of the parents.
Yeah. Nick and I were at the game the other night, and he probably really is my best friend. People who say like you shouldn't be best friends with your kids, but
that's so great.
It's fine with your adults.
It's the way it worked out.
Yeah.
Just the way it worked out.
It's not a great idea when they're 10, but when they're almost 30, it's fine.
But he was talking about what a gentle parent I was, and he goes, except every vacation we ever went on, there was going to be an episode where you were usually hangry and lost.
Did you just lose your mind?
And I just lose it. Yeah.
I love that it's on vacation,
Yeah,
too.
it's always on vacation.
The happiest time.
Yeah, it's usually the first day. The last one was when we were all in Colorado, and we drove to the Stanley Hotel, the Shining thing.
I've been there, yeah.
and we hadn't eaten. And the Stanley was fine, but it was a little bit of a disappointment. And it's hot, and we're trying to find a place to eat. And I'm just being it's all on me. And it ended up with Nick and I like not squaring up to punch each other, but outside in the parking lot, like, and he just goes, Dad, you're doing it again. It's fine. I love you, but you do this every vacation. And I know he's right, but I'm like, here's what you don't get about this.
It's like a real-life Snickers commercial.
Yes, it really is. But he's like, other than that, you've been great.
It's funny.
Good to know your weaknesses.
Yeah. That's great.
Don't go on vacation with me. If you do, keep me fed. Keep me fed.
Don't let him get hungry. You won't like him when he's hungry.
I was sitting at the game last night. I'm such a narrator of my own life, if that makes sense. Like the voice inside my head is like having Bob Costas narrate your life if Bob Costas didn't like you much.
It's funny how mean we are to ourselves in our heads.
Just.
But Kevin, you've said you don't have that, right? Like you don't have that internal monologue going all the time.
I don't hear a voice like in my head, like in my own voice or whatever. I don't have that.
I can't remember the last time I didn't hear that
Yeah,
voice.
I hear it too. I have it. Yeah.
But one of the things last night, I was sitting there even before Monsignor Ted got there, and I was semi-obsessed with finding the kid or the old person that I was going to give a foul ball to. It's fine to go like, oh, if I catch, look at that kid, he's cute. If I catch a foul ball, I'm gonna give it to him. I'm like looking around and zoning and making judgments.
You've got like a plan.
Oh yeah, like which one would make me look like the best guy?
You're eyeing up the family who's gonna like really
100%.
appreciate this.
100%. And then this family sat by me, and there was a kid in the brood, and he looked to be 5 or 6, and I could tell by the look on his face that he was a total piece of crap. And I felt bad.
This isn't the kid.
Right. I felt bad like making that judgment, but I was right.
When you see it, you know it.
You know it.
You know it when you see it.
See, I love you.
I love you too.
We hate the same things.
Those kids, you can just tell.
Yeah, I said that to someone last night. They're like, you can't judge a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
I'm like, you can judge a baby.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
I've seen babies where I'm like, this one's a bad one.
We spend a lot of time with toddlers now. I'm judging them.
Yeah.
Like, I know which ones are good.
Yeah, this
I
one
can
was
see
pulled
it.
green.
Yep.
The Second World War is the largest event in human history.
A 20-part series with Tom Hanks.
No part of the globe was untouched, no life unchanged.
Experience the ultimate account of World War II.
Every single person had a story. These are the stories that make us who we are.
Listen to World War II with Tom Hanks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet, the easiest, simplest live that I do all day, the easiest, simplest live that I've ever done. It's flooring. And when it comes to flooring, like everything else, right? Like recently I've had a bug up my butt looking at drums. I have 3 drum sets. I don't need any drums, but it's exciting to look at drums. And when you look at drums, you have really good companies like DW and Ludwig and Pearl and Yamaha and Sonar. And within those, you can get an entry-level kit. You can get a professional kit that's not a gazillion dollars, or you can get the $10,000, this is the nicest drums that we make in the world. Same way with flooring. You have Shaw and Coronet and Mohawk, and those are your DWs and Ludwigs and Pearls. And within those, you have like a kind of a starter indoor-outdoor kind of carpet. It's great. It's great quality, but it's not what you want in your formal room. Then you have the normal carpeting. This is good enough for anyone in the world. Then you have the luxury, where it's that room that as a kid that your rich friends, like you couldn't even go in there. You certainly can't take Kool-Aid or pizza. We have it all. We have it at better prices than anyone else because we know what we mark up, and we mark up less. We shake your hand. We look you in the eye. We don't follow you around the store, but we're in the store if you need us. It really is kind of perfect. MichaelsFlooringoutlet.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
There's a saying, it takes a group of good men to build a barn and only one to tear it down. Well, a few Jeff City politicians are at it again, tearing things down with Amendment 5 and Amendment 4. No on 5 and 4. 5 takes our money with higher sales taxes, higher taxes on gas, guns, and groceries, a sales tax hike on rent and diesel, seed, and feed. 4 takes away our constitutional right to vote and go around the establishment politicians and to stop higher taxes. Takes away our safety valve, a vote of the people to stop or reverse a dumb idea like the everything tax. I'm a no. A heck no. No. No on Amendment 5. No on Amendment 4. No on both 4 and 5. Paid for by no on the everything tax.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. 100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. We have Trisha with us, who I love to death. Ricky Horton joins us at 2:30, who I also love. Boy, that'd be a terrible love triangle for me to be in. You and Ricky Horton.
Me, you, Ricky.
How do you choose?
Oh, man.
Melissa Price Smith is going to be here at 3 o'clock. She's always fun. Braxton Payne and Steve Ellman for the Think Tank. It's a good show, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Well
yeah,
done.
it should be a fun one.
Yeah, well put together. You know what I was thinking about last night is I'm going to tell you what I was thinking about. Then I want you to tell me whether you think this is in any way a good thing or a bad thing. But everyone here is old enough to remember part of these things. But most of my life, you had to wait for everything. If you took photos, it was 2 weeks at the photomat. If you sent a letter, If you wanted to watch your favorite television show, it's Bob Newhart. It's Wednesdays at 8.
There was
Wish in
time
one
to
hand, poop in the
anticipate.
other. See if it's on any earlier. Food. You couldn't have a taxi bring your burrito, right?
You had to wait till date night or whatever it was.
Do you think that we savored life more back then, maybe?
Possibly. I find myself getting frustrated if my Netflix doesn't pull up quickly enough, or if whatever article I want to read on my phone isn't coming. Like if my internet is not fast enough, and I'm talking like 10 seconds wait time, I am mad. I am closing out browsers. I'm pacing. I'm trying to figure out what is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. That's terrible. It's terrible where we are.
Yeah, I have found a real annoyance with reading articles. And I just, like, if there's an article on something, and I'm different because I'm reading it for work, but I just want them to tell me. Just tell me. And when any article, I can see how long it is, and it starts with, in 1890, I'm like, oh, GD.
Gosh darn it.
I don't care. Just.
And then you get pop-ups while you're reading it. So you're like scrolling to get to the point. And then it's like, also, you want an ad for this? Skechers. Like, no, I don't. I want to know what the point of this is.
Those bother me so much more than videos. Somehow, if I have to watch a 30-second video before, a commercial before I watch a video, okay. But when I'm reading something and it just keeps populating those little pop-ups.
Frustrating.
Andrew, do you remember the waiting life much?
Like, what do you mean by the waiting life?
Like waiting for everything.
Like waiting.
You can't watch your favorite show until Thursday at 9 because that's when it's on. It's not streaming.
I was on the kind of the tail end of that. You know what I mean? Like my teens were that, but by the time I got into my 20s, that's when like streaming really started to take over. And so my adult life has mostly been the life of instant immediate gratification. But I remember, I used to I was obsessed with the show Lost when I was in high school because didn't have friends. And so those were my friends instead. And so I would tape them every I'd have the tape ready in the VCR recorder, and then when we upgraded to DVDs and I could burn DVDs out of there, life changing, much better quality.
You're the last generation that when you're my age or when you're 85, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Grandpa Andrew remembers," something like that.
Yeah, corded, corded wall phones, and we had those. And then when we upgraded to the wireless handset phone that had a battery life of 22 minutes.
Yeah. Remember when you,
good day.
Like this, to the waiting thing, if you wanted to go to a concert, you had to go stand in line to get the tickets.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go to a game, a baseball game, you had to go stand in line at the stadium to get tickets.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go to the movies, you had to go stand in line to get tickets. Like the waiting thing was nonstop. Everything was waiting.
Yeah, I guess it's better.
Oh, it's definitely better.
Maybe we just
we're so spoiled.
Yeah,
this is terrible.
Maybe that's what
we
it
have
is.
Everything at our fingertips.
That's what the problem is.
We're just spoiled.
It definitely changes the standard.
The technology and the culture is not the problem. We are the problem because we no longer have the ability to, not be entertained for even a second. Or if our food delivery, it used to be you'd order a pizza and if it took 6 hours, well, I guess something's up.
Yeah.
It took 6 hours. I guess they must have a lot of pizzas. Now you can watch them driving, and if they take a wrong turn, you call them and you go, "Hey, where do you think you're going?
The wrong way.
Where do you think you're going with my McDonald's?"
We used to just hope that our pizza was late because then we'd get it free.
Yeah.
It was 30 minutes or less, or it's free. That was the old Domino's thing back in the day.
But then they started killing people in car crashes. That's why they stopped it.
No, you're
Is
right.
that
They were
right?
rushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
We don't just cover St. Louis, we share it. That's why the stories you hear every morning aren't just headlines. They're about your neighborhood,
Ferguson's police chief took the stand in day one of
your
election.
roads,
Westbound 270 North County just had some volume on
your Cardinals,
Riley O'Brien strikes out the side in the 9th inning.
your community.
I'm Tom Ackerman.
This is Debbie Monterey. I'm Megan Lynch.
Total Information AM, weekdays on KMOX.
Your health story is shaped by more than genetics. Everyday choices like nutrition, physical activity, sleep, tobacco use, and routine screenings all play a role in your future health. Sightman Cancer Center's Your Disease Risk helps you understand how family history and lifestyle work together, offering personalized insights to support healthier decisions. Knowing your risk today can help protect your tomorrow. Visit sightman.washu.edu/YDR.
Let me tell you guys about Dr. Corey Solman, my orthopedic surgeon. He is a super nice guy, and that matters because when you are discussing something like getting a knee replacement or a hip replacement for you or your elderly loved one who may be really afraid of going under general anesthetic, or maybe it's for a young person who's like a little 12-year-old soccer player and tore an ACL or an MCL, and you want someone who can connect with them, not a cold fish, not a God complex surgeon, not someone who's just very cold and austere. That's Corey. He's very cool. He's very nice. He's very funny. He also happens to be one of the very best surgeons in the Midwest. I know so many doctors. As you know, I do lives for many, many doctors, and they send patients back and forth. And all the doctors I know, when someone comes in or they say, hey, by the way, my mom, I think she needs a knee replacement, always send them to Dr. Corey Solman. He's out in Chesterfield. When you call, make sure you let him know that you're from the show because he and I are good buddies. 636-231-5881 or Solman, S-O-L-M-A-N, SolmanOrthopedics.com.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is brought to you by Scott Credit Union.
Summer is still with us this afternoon, but not the brutal heat and humidity of Sunday and Monday. Winds are starting to turn to the northwest. Here comes a little cool front. We'll take it. Partly sunny skies, couple of spot thunderstorms. Now, it's still humid. It's still very warm, 93 degrees, but things are going to be improving. Some clouds around tonight, some spot storms, 71 Wednesday. It's all about the northwest flow. Sunny skies. We'll notice the drop in temperature and humidity. 89 on Wednesday, 69 Wednesday night, and Thursday sunny, and 89 again. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Think buying a home is out of reach? Think again. Scott Credit Union has down payment options as low as zero money down. Your new home could be closer than you think. Visit scu.org today. Equal housing lender, NMLS 415767. Terms and conditions apply.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Our conversation with Ricky Horton is sponsored by Rawlings. Visit the Rawlings Experience at Westport.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Happy Tuesday to you. Our pal Ricky Horton joins us. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Dave. How is everybody?
Everyone's doing pretty well, man. I was at the game last night. Weird one, right? With the storm blowing in and everything, and just a weird game overall. Came up to the booth for an inning or two. I thought you would feel the tremor in the force and turn around.
I was so engrossed in the potential Cardinal comeback, I guess I didn't notice.
Yeah, I've never seen the windows closed. That was interesting.
Well, yeah, we don't do that very often, but, it's just the last 2 days were pretty oppressive, and we just felt like, just for all of our sanity that we should do it for one day. But I think we're going to be back to normal today, and, hope for a better result on the field. Frustrating game too, because Matthew Liberatore just had another rough start. I feel bad for him.
It's a fascinating thing, and that was the topic today, Ricky, on Gas House Gang with Ollie. So Ollie comes on every Tuesday and hangs for 30, 40 minutes and does it. And they're talking about his answer was a really simple one about what's wrong, and it's just you're not getting ahead. And when you don't have the overwhelming swing and miss stuff where you can just get away with mistakes, you got to work ahead. And when you're working from behind, you become predictable.
If you don't get ahead 60% or more of the time, and you shoot for 70%, you get strike one.
Yep.
Well, yesterday he had strike one 8 out of 20 times, which is less than that, obviously. And of those 8, 3 of them were hits, and one of them was a home run, actually. So it's not like he got strike one.
Right.
He only got strike one 5 out of 20 times. And if you look at the aggregate batting averages of Major League players, when it's 1-0 versus 0-1, it totally tells the story of why you got to get strike one. And I think for Libby's case, it boils down to not having fastball command, which he said exactly that in the post-game sound.
Which is an interesting thing to me, Ricky, because that was kind of the knock on him as a prospect. So when you look at it, he was a top 100 guy. He was always viewed as a quality prospect. But some of the reports, some of the prospect evaluators would say that it might limit his ceiling because while his fastball is average when it comes to velocity, he doesn't command it particularly well. And what's fascinating is here we are, 5-6 years later, and it's still a problem.
Yeah, so I have a theory about when somebody's not commanding their fastball well, they don't have confidence in it. I mean, it's not just that, but it can be mechanics. So I feel like he needs to really learn. And I don't want to just go totally old school on this. And I love the guy, and I think he's trying everything he can do to kind of figure it out. But I think if his fastball has a little bit of a wrinkle to it, instead of throwing everyone as hard as he can, every four-seamer, he needs to go, sinker down and away, cutter in. I mean, he needs to just think of them all as fastballs. Every fastball he throws has to move because he's not throwing 99. He's throwing 94, and that's basically what the 94 guys have to do is have a little – actually, their guy yesterday improved from the last time we saw him because he added a little sink to his fastball.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that when you look at all of his fastballs, none of them do well. They all get hit pretty hard, but I almost wonder if that's the nature of having 6 pitches and 3 versions of a fastball. Maybe reducing the repertoire is a key to executing better.
Yeah, and I talk about this all the time. You guys have heard me say this, but in spring training, our first 3 outings, we weren't allowed to throw anything but fastballs.
Right.
And the reason is they felt like if you really want to learn how to pitch and get big league guys out, you have to establish something with your fastball and then add that other stuff later, and then you get better with it. But you learn how to do it by again, sinking down and away, cutting it off, moving it off the plate in, or having it come back over the corner, whatever it might be, just to add a little more movement and be a little more concerned about movement and location than velocity.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that they're going to continue to work on. Obviously, Ollie said that they don't have any plans to send him down to get work at Memphis.
Right, yeah.
But he did acknowledge the bullpen could eventually become a possibility, especially if Dobbins goes well. He didn't get into the specifics, but when he was asked about it, he said that's more of a possibility than sending him to Memphis. And obviously, we'll see how that all plays out. But what's even probably more frustrating, and you could see it in Ollie's face today because he joins the stream via video too, but when they brought up the offense, you could just see him go, whew. It's because the offense is really struggling to score.
Yeah, so, if a pitcher has a bad day every once in a while, you don't worry about it when you score 10 runs. But, right now it's like every time something happens, I think people would be stunned to hear how good the Cardinals starting pitching has been. Even you had Libby's game yesterday, Cardinals are still one of the top 5 or 6 teams in all of baseball since the All-Star break. And in terms of their starting, that's been fine. Bullpen not so good, but yeah, we got to figure out a way to get all 4 of those guys at the top of the order hot at the same time. Burley's sure been hot lately, but just to have him and Walker and Weatherholt and Herrera all on the same page in terms of being hot, I think that's what we need.
Let me ask you guys a question about that, and your answer may just be, Dave, it's because baseball's really hard. But I've played all the major sports. You guys have played all the major sports. I would have a bad soccer game. I'd have a bad football game at running back, bad basketball game at point guard. I rarely had 2 in a row. What is it about baseball that is so lends itself to individual slumping and entire teams having slow offensive, weeks and a couple of homestands in a row? Like, what do you think it is about the game that lends itself to that?
Well, boy, that's a great question, and I'm not going to give the answer that you wanted me to give back to you because it's not just the game. I think it is the reality of baseball maybe being more of a fine motor skill thing than say, of course, soccer's agility and football's kind of big muscle explosion, but baseball is so particular that if you're off on a particular, it keeps you from performing, and it may take you a while to figure that out. The batting, what you do at the plate, and all the mechanics involved in that is so precise. Where your arms are, where your swing is, is your head moving? Are you opening? Are you closed? I mean, is your stride too long? Is it too short? There's 15 things you could do wrong. It's more like golf, I think, where golf you can just kind of lose it for a while and then all of a sudden get it back.
I think that's a great answer.
I think the golf thing is nails because Ricky, what you just said to me rings completely true. And I would add on the individual nature of the execution, right? So if I'm an offensive lineman and I get off the snap poorly, I've got 4 other guys there, plus the quarterback can see that and adjust and get rid of the ball faster or throw it away or whatever.
Yeah.
If I'm hitting, nobody can help me hit. If I'm pitching, nobody can help me throw the ball where I need to throw it. And I think it's that individual nature of it where all the other sports, everything functions as a unit all the time. Basketball, hockey, football, soccer.
And think about with my buddies, we kind of, yell at each other in the middle of our backswing, but that's not really proper golf etiquette. Right. So there's no real defense, but you can do all those things right. And what if the hitter makes an adjustment before you do? Right. I mean, so you might even actually make a good pitch to a spot that you want to go to, but the hitter's already beat you to that spot. So that's another thing that happens is there's also this kind of other people involved that make it more complicated.
I'm so glad I asked that question because I think you guys are hitting on it, and it makes sense when I think back on not just my sports career, but drumming and playing guitar. Drumming is so physical, and I rarely made mistakes at it. Playing guitar is so fine, and it just drove me crazy. Yeah. So and golf's a perfect analogy. Yeah. So I'm glad you answered that.
But, yeah. By the way, Dave, next time we play golf, I am going to play defense against you. I'm going to figure out a way to try to throw you off a little bit.
Dude, you've seen me play. It can only help.
Ricky, Ricky, I don't think you heard my proposal. I think we should be moving golf to full contact.
Oh, hey, I think you'd get some ratings. Let's put it that way. I mean, you've kind of taken the Adam Sandler thing a little bit too far. I think maybe with Happy Gilmore plus.
Hey, I guarantee you those guys get up to the ball and hit it faster if someone's chasing them.
Rick, I wanted to ask you.
Yes, they would.
You being such a golf guy. It seems like professional golf is going through something right now. Like they all mad at each other, and then Glover took off his spikes to make a point, and you know what I mean? Like I don't remember golf being so much drama.
So I think there's 2 things about that. Number one is we obviously have more attention. They're more mic'd up now. So when Bryson DeChambeau is mad at somebody because they give him a penalty, we used to never see that. I mean, that might have happened, but we don't actually hear his reaction. We don't see his face up close. We don't hear the caddy telling him what club to use, and he disagrees. I mean, we hear all that stuff. So I think that's part of it. There's probably, I'm sure Jack Nicklaus got mad before, and Gary Player and Tom Weisskopf and Arnold Palmer, but we just didn't know it. And it was kind of like, it's kind of like the John Wayne movies where, it just was a little bit more genteel. But I think now that's part of the reason is we have more information. But I do also think that, some of it's just a cultural shift too, in terms of how we compete and what we think is respectful on any field of play. And I'm going to err on the side of respect always, as I said last week. And so I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. I just rather not hear it.
Rick, the next time I am in the KMOX booth, I have a request. I've never formally met Jim Jackson. And
oh my goodness,
I have watched him work. I've listened to his work. I know the legend. But can you just say a couple words about the man and what he's meant to Cardinals broadcast?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we're going to make sure you guys connect for sure. Jim is a very calming influence. And, you know, the reason we all like to give him credit is because we're all crazy and he's not. So, I mean, you know the world. I mean, you're performing, you're trying to be up, and you have his very calming voice that helps you make sure you know what's next or what's coming up. And you know, Jim has been such a pro for so many years. He understands kind of what we do, and he's not looking for any credit, but you know, we like to give it to him because, well, we need him, and he's been such a pro, and I'll definitely make sure you guys get connected.
Yeah, he just seems like a great guy.
He is.
He is. He's wonderful.
All right, buddy. Well, better luck tonight, and we'll be waiting to see what happens with the trade deadline coming up next Monday.
Yep. Yeah, stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. See you, Rick.
Yep. Yeah.
Cardinals fans, this is Ricky Horton. Have you ever had a dream of meeting your favorite former Cardinals? You can make those dreams come true all season long with St. Louis Cardinals alumni experiences. You can join me and other former Cardinals players at events including Cardinals Conversations, Fans at Bat, Turn 2 with Ozzy, Cardinals Kids Clinics, and Cardinals Fantasy Camps. Don't miss your chance to make lifelong memories. Visit cardinals.com/alumni for more information.
If you're craving baseball conversations about your favorite players, alumni, and franchise memories, you'll love that Cardinals Magazine is dedicated to the stories that matter most to you. From Gold Gloves to championship rings, from the Wizard and Willie to Albert, Yachty, Uncle Charlie, and well beyond. Their careers define our pages. Treat yourself or a friend to a subscription today at cardinals.com/magazine. Cardinals Magazine, past, present, and future, it's all here.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration.
Looking for a career change? Well, the Gelman team with eXp Realty is hiring. Their unmatched blueprint to success, real support, and proven systems help agents take their business to the next level. Level up your future and earning potential. Take the first step at thegelmanteam.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Happy Tuesday to you. 2:50, if you wanted to shy of 3 p.m., in case you didn't know what 2:50 meant. Michael Calhoun joins us from the newsroom, and you know why I love having Michael on? Because anytime Michael's on, there's the chance it's going to be a Moreau Award, right?
I mean, yeah.
Just count down, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Here we go. Submission. Michael, I understand that we're another corporate loss for the city of St. Louis.
Yeah, this is a big regional loss, I think, when it comes to things that we're proud of here in St. Louis and things that have been homegrown. KMOX News has just confirmed in the last few minutes that Panera Brands, which is over Panera Bread, St. Louis Bread Company as we know it here, as well as Einstein Brothers Bagels, Panera Brands will be moving its corporate headquarters from the building in Fenton, where they are now. They had moved there from Sunset Hills a few years ago. They'll be moving from suburban St. Louis to suburban Massachusetts, suburban Boston to Weston, Massachusetts. The move is expected to be completed by July of 2027. There will still be a St. Louis support center here. They don't really lay out what that means. Is it just a call center? Any corporate employees, will they still be here? But they do say that we will soon relocate many St. Louis support center and remote team roles to the new headquarters in Weston. So that does seem to appear that a lot of people who probably live in the St. Louis area have worked at the Panera headquarters for decades. It's been in St. Louis County, that they may be getting the word that they either need to find a new job or move to Massachusetts.
Michael, any stated reasons for the move or any reading between the lines?
Well, this is, Panera got a new CEO about a year ago. Panera has been under this a European umbrella of food brands, and the report has been that they have been trying to get out of this, to perhaps do an IPO, go public, put it on the stock exchange. They attempted to do that and pulled it back a few years ago. And so it's called JAB Holdings. They still continue to hold Panera Brands. And so over the last couple of years, they've been going through this initiative they call Panera Rise. You might have heard about, for instance, many of the bakery cafes laying off all of their bakers and going with frozen dough that then managers and cashiers thaw and then put into the ovens to bake. So they've made that move in most places.
Yeah.
St. Louis, one of basically every market, they've closed the actual central bakery facility and laid off those roles at the local bakery cafes. Also, they just announced, and this has been big on social media, that the Unlimited Sip Club is now still going to cost the same per month, but it's only going to have 30 drinks per month. Some people go and refill their coffee or sodas or charged lemonades every 2 hours. So some big changes like that. They made a big menu change. They called it a new era at Panera a little while ago. And so this is just the latest move from, again, this new CEO did go to the University of Massachusetts. He'll be moving the headquarters to the Boston area.
Andrew, that Sip Club thing probably hit you pretty hard.
Yeah, it was tough. So there would be a time in my life where this would be quite devastating to me. I have not had it for a while because it just stopped being convenient in the way that my wife and I lived our lives. But that's a huge difference. I mean, people would go in the morning and get something to drink, then they'd go on their lunch break, then they'd go after work and get something. You know what I mean? Like it used to be you could get a drink every 2 hours. Now it's going to be 30 in a month. That's a massive change.
I don't get a drink every 2 hours at home.
And for the people who, some people would go and set up shop if they work from home or whatever.
I've done it myself.
Panera and just sit there for, a few hours and know that they could go back up and refill their large soda after 2 hours. That's not going to be an option anymore. I think that's going to be, I don't know. I mean, I guess they were already losing money, which is why they're changing it, but I can't help but think that it's not a very customer-friendly decision.
Yeah. That's too bad. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I didn't want to say this during the news portion because I never want anything I say to be blamed on them. But I think Panera's really gone downhill the last couple. And I don't eat it all the time. But I don't eat it all the time because a couple of times when I got it, it just wasn't very good. And it seemed very expensive for what it was, But, man, back in the day when it was St. Louis Bread Company, maybe just because it was new, maybe because it was they were doing all their own fresh dough like Michael reported. But, yeah, it used to be a lot better. But I think that about most things. So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one that's worse.
I don't know. But it's not about worse. It just change.
For the worse.
For us, I mean. Like, for the humans, our tastes can change or you get bored with things or whatever. But, yeah. I haven't noticed the same drop-off, but I also haven't gone very much recently. So probably not the right person to make that determination.
Mm-hmm. Today is both National Milk Chocolate Day and National Chocolate Milk Day.
Oh, I celebrated Chocolate Milk Day already.
Did you?
I did.
You know you're a chocolate milk guy?
Yeah. I always have a container at home.
Super yum.
How do you drink it? You make a glass, you go right out of the container?
No, I mostly get glass because I measure it.
You measure your chocolate milk?
Yep.
Wow.
That.
Keep talking.
I don't want to drill down. I just want that to stay. It's the craziest thing any of us have ever said.
You're probably right. The more he talks, the more sane he'll make it.
Yeah, no.
But just the fact that he measures his chocolate milk.
Okay. You guys want the reason?
Nope.
All right.
I just
you
said
don't need it. All right. That's cool with me. There's a reason, though.
Well, I want to hear it.
Okay. It's because I'm always counting grams of protein, and I know 1 cup of this milk has 13 grams of protein, and that's how I'm adding it up during the course of the day. So if I have 1 cup of it, like literally 1 cup measured, then it's exactly 13 grams of protein, and that adds to my total as the day goes along.
Would it really screw you up if, like, I poured your milk and there was maybe 30% more?
No.
Would you have to then, like, divide by 3?
No.
How many proteins you get in a day?
How many grams?
Yeah.
Probably 150 to 180. Depends on the day, but usually it's in that 150 range.
I get most of mine from Cosmic Brownies. I haven't really added it up
Dude,
lately.
If they ever make protein brownies for real, I'm in.
Tell you guys about my friends over at First Missouri Credit Union. Let me be very honest with you. If I don't expect to get you to take your business from Bank of America or Enterprise Bank and move everything you got over to First Missouri. It'd be nice if you did it. I didn't do it, though, right? They're my client. I still have money in my bank. But I did move some money over to First Missouri because my bank isn't paying me 4.27% on my checking, not even close. In fact, I don't think my bank even offers a certificate of deposit that pays that much. But First Missouri does. So I'm making that money. That's really nice to know that something can just sit there and make money for you. But you're in no way strapped to it. I can take it out. I can put it in the very next day, whatever I want to do. They have the lowest rates on vehicle loans. So it would behoove you to put $25 into a checking account, become a member, and refinance your car. We do signature loans. We have 2 beautiful facilities down on Lee May Ferry. But as I always tell you guys, you just go to the website and it'll tell you every credit union that they have this reciprocal partnership with. I have one right by my house, and I have one a block away from the studio. And I deposit checks and I cash checks. It's really cool. 314-544-5050, the number 1, STMOCU.org.
Breaking news. Missouri will vote on Amendment 4 this August. Right now, a ballot measure passes in Missouri if it gets a majority of votes statewide. Amendment 4 would permanently end that. If Amendment 4 passes, it would rewrite the Missouri Constitution. So instead of using the total statewide vote to decide if something is approved, a measure would need to win a majority of votes separately in each of Missouri's 8 congressional districts in order to pass. So one district could veto the will of most Missourians. That means with Amendment 4, just 5% of voters could overrule what the majority of Missouri's citizens want. Opponents of Amendment 4 say it undermines the sacred principle of one person, one vote, and takes away the people's power, giving it to politicians and special interests instead. Protect majority rule. Vote no on Amendment 4. Paid for by Protect Majority Rule Missouri. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For men over 50, staying healthy shouldn't feel complicated. Neovitin Men's 50 Plus is a doctor-formulated daily multivitamin designed to support everyday wellness with just 2 tablets a day. You can subscribe at neovitin.com for convenient monthly delivery right to your door, or find Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Deerbirds or Schnucks. All Neovitin vitamins are manufactured in a GMP-certified facility in the USA and are designed for real, everyday routines. Make nutrition easy with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3:01, it's a cloudy sky. Right now, 92 degrees downtown at the Arch.
KMOX is covering breaking news.
Panera Bread is leaving its hometown. The company that started as the St. Louis Bread Company in 1987 is telling employees today that it's opening a new headquarters near Boston in July 2027 and relocating many St. Louis jobs there. An internal memo obtained by KMOX says a reduced St. Louis office will remain. No details or numbers. The move is part of Panera CEO Paul Carbone's Panera Rise turnaround plan, which has already brought controversial changes. The company shut down its dough factories in favor of frozen par-baked bread. And next month, the Unlimited Sip Club stops being unlimited, capping members at 30 drinks a month. Again, Panera Brands is moving its headquarters from St. Louis County to the Boston area. FEMA has awarded the city an additional $2.9 million of funds to continue employing case managers who help residents navigate the tornado recovery effort. But the city only has about 10 case managers who are handling 1,000 open and under review cases. KMOX asked Mayor Kara Spencer if those funds could go towards not just keeping the staff employed, but hiring more.
The specific details maybe we can get to you. This is what we're really here talking about is the $2.9 million that we just learned we're getting. And so how that actually gets deployed is something that will come in the coming days, weeks.
From ABC News, Senator Lindsey Graham's funeral service has drawn lawmakers, dignitaries, and members of the White House to National Cathedral in Washington today. President Trump gave remarks at the funeral and said Lindsey would be remembered as a titan of the Senate.
He was the first person to make you laugh and one of the last people that you've really ever wanted to fight. These were the traits that made him into one of the great figures in Senate history. Few like him.
Graham died nearly 2 weeks ago at the age of 71. This just in, Seattle police say a 15-year-old has been arrested in connection with the festival shooting that killed 3 people, and he had an untraceable ghost gun. A major cyber attack impacting Minnesota water systems. ABC's Mike Dubusky.
Minnesota IT Services now says the technology used by water utilities across the state was targeted by a cyber attack earlier this week. The hack impacting 30 counties across the state, though officials stress the water in Minnesota is safe to drink. No word yet on who's responsible. Authorities say an investigation is ongoing.
Cracker Barrel's CEO Julie Masino is stepping down. A replacement's already been announced. She tried to rebrand the restaurant chain to welcome newer, younger customers. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze.
She had promised to revamp the restaurant that was founded in 1969 for a younger generation of diners with new menus, minimal decor, and a fresh logo. Well, that new logo, unveiled last August, removed Uncle Herschel sitting in overalls, instead featured simple letters with no image. Turned out there was no appetite for it. People online, even President Trump, decried the change, and within days, Cracker Barrel reversed course and went back to the original logo.
And again, the breaking story that we are covering this hour, major St. Louis company Panera Brands is moving its headquarters from suburban St. Louis County to the Boston metropolitan area. Let's get you an update of the St. Louis Business Index now. To Stifel we go. Scott Bedell. Scott?
Good afternoon, Michael. Hello, everyone. Technology stocks continued to struggle, but other blue chip stocks, including a St. Louis favorite, helped the major indexes to move higher. At the 3 p.m. close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 537 points, or just about 1%, to 52,747. The Standard & Poor's 500 index higher by 0.25% to 7,429, while NASDAQ, the poorest performer today, lost 0.2% at 24,876. Locally, the Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index had a solid day, advancing 1.25% to 1,744. Checking on some local winners, Boeing solidly higher by 4.75% at $221.56. Anheuser-Busch up 2.9% at $83.20. Stifel Financial added 2.75%, closing at $84.64. On the downside, Belden Corporation fell 0.75% to $104.93, while ESCO Technologies down 2.5% to finish at $315.69. From Stifel Financial, this has been Scott Bedell. Stifel is a member of SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to explore our website at stifel.com.
There's a crash on the ramp from 6440 getting off westbound at I-270.
It's still summertime across St. Louis, but a cool front coming through, and our winds will turn to the northwest as we go through the afternoon. Partly sunny skies, couple of spot thunderstorms. Still very warm and very humid, but things will be going down. 93 for the high. Tonight, some clouds, some spot thunderstorms. 71. The northwest flow really takes hold on Wednesday. Sunny skies, lower humidity, lower temperatures. 89 degrees, 69 Wednesday night, Thursday sunny, and 89. Temperatures hold in the 80s Friday and over the weekend. But unsettled weather will start to take hold, especially on Saturday, when our temperatures could be in the low 80s. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Weather is sponsored by Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family as America celebrates its 250th anniversary. Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance wish everyone a safe and joyful summer, proudly serving the community for generations. Happy 250th America. Cloudy sky right now 92, feels like 92 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Happy Tuesday to you. Rachel is out for the week. She is currently at a professional tennis match in D.C., having the time of her life, so good for her. Melissa Price Smith, who I've known forever, joins us live in studio and who we love here on the show. Always good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So how are things?
Things are good. I have been leading the office about a year and a half now. It's gone really, really fast, but we have just accomplished some great things, have some great attorneys, investigators, victim advocates, support staff. We've really made some great strides in the past year.
Talk about, now that you've done it, looking back in hindsight, what didn't you know about the job that you've learned in a year and a half?
I think the main thing is that I can never make everybody happy.
It's a good thing to learn.
Yeah, it is. You know, I have to tell you, though, I am smart enough to know what I don't know. So I have surrounded myself with some of the very, very best people. So the way the office has grown and the way people have stepped up, I knew that would happen, but the level it has happened has just been amazing. That's been a really wonderful surprise to me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Our kids, we talked about this off the air, that all I wanted to be in law school was a litigator and a trial attorney. And, you know, I grew up in the age of LA law, and I went to litigation firms. But my roommate, who you knew, Rick Van Noy, was a public defender, and he tried exponentially more cases than I did. Are kids coming out of law school still, do they get that?
You know, my daughter's applying to law school right now, and I told her, I said, whatever type of law you want to do, the best thing you can do for your career when you get out of law school is go to a prosecutor's office or public defender's office, because you will be thrown in and get so much trial experience that will benefit any legal career.
Yeah, you'll be years ahead of your contemporaries who are at a big defense firm or something.
Yeah, I mean, a student gets out of law school and goes straight to a big civil litigation firm. They may not see a courtroom for years.
Yeah.
Whereas a student gets out and goes to a public defender or a prosecutor's office, they could have 10 jury trials of their own in the first couple of years.
And you're handling real things with real people with real consequences.
You know, real things, real people. I call being a prosecutor or even a public defender, it's the front lines, and I would never do anything else. It's real people and real issues, and it's right up front and really making a difference.
Yeah. Can you relax at night, or are you always like, oh, you know what I should do tomorrow? I should do this.
No, I cannot relax at night at all. Which could be a whole nother discussion. No, you know, I'm hoping maybe when the campaign is over, because, you know, the prosecutor's office, I don't like to be away from there. I like to be there. I also keep cases. I like to be in court. But the campaign is like a second full-time job.
Yeah.
So our office, in addition to being a strong prosecutors, we are also out in the community all the time. Plus the campaign is also additional being out in the community. So maybe after the primary on August 4th, I'll be able to take a breath. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I feel like I can never relax at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mind is just kind of going.
What do people need to know about the election coming up in August?
The people really, really need to know, first of all, there's no real Republican primary at all on August 4th. So if people want to have their voice heard in their vote for prosecutor, they need to pull a Democratic ticket, even if they're a Republican. That's the only way they're going to get to choose the prosecutor. And I can guarantee them I am the most qualified for this position. And I guarantee them that I will not let them down, and our office will not let them down. In fact, if they want to vote on the county executive in the primary, they also have to pull a Democratic ticket.
I knew you were going to be on today because I ran into you yesterday, and I was thinking about you last night. And, you know, I've gone through this quite a metamorphosis politically. And when I was on 97.1, I would have called myself a Republican. Then MAGA hit and just completely turned me off. But I also have problems with Democrats. But I was thinking of you, and I like your style of Democrat because you care about people, but you're still terrifying to me. Like, right? You're a badass. And a lot of times Democrats get this sort of wussiest kind of thing, like, oh, all they care about is this and this and this. But you have a Republican energy as someone who is a Democrat. That's a compliment, by the way.
Thank you very much. First of all, I don't think this position should be political. I'm a prosecutor. I am not a politician. I'm also pro-law enforcement. Our biggest priority in our office is public safety, keeping violent offenders off the streets and giving victims a voice. However, I also feel very, very strongly about our community programs, such as our reaching out to high schools. We speak to about 10 high school classes a semester, and it's only increasing because I think our office can play a huge role in helping young people and really having some real conversations with them so they never get involved in the criminal justice system at all. So we are really increasing that program as well. I identify as a Democrat. I was appointed by a Republican governor. I'm a prosecutor. I'm not a politician.
Let's talk about the young kids, because I was having a discussion with one of my very conservative MAGA friends, and he basically said all this stuff they've tried in the city and the county and, basketball tournaments and such, and nothing has helped. You've been doing this a long time. What do you think does help with kids at risk to keep them from going generationally into crime?
Well, what we are doing in our office is speaking to high schools all the way from Parkway and Rockwood. We are speaking this year with Ferguson and Normandy, and we've spoken with the superintendent at Jennings and Hazelwood. And what our plan is and what we have been doing for the last year is we go into these high school classes and we get a waiver from the teacher first, and we have some real conversations about very, very real cases that we have had with 18-year-olds, because we deal with 18 and up. 18 is an adult in the state of Missouri. And we talk with these kids about guns, drugs, sex, things that people their age get involved in, either purposely or accidentally. And I've realized that the more, as I say, real talk that we have with them, then they start really talking to us and the questions they ask. And one of the things we talk about is the thing that high schoolers seem to think is funny and embarrassing, and they all seem to do nowadays, is sending naked or sexual pictures of one another. And they think it's an embarrassing, funny thing. And we explain it's also promotion of child pornography. But when we get into the conversation, we talk about, hey, what do you do when you get this video? What do you do when you get this picture? What do you do when your friend gets it and he shows it to you? But the more we talk about these real cases, they really start talking. And if this program can help one student turn right instead of left, it's worth it. And we also talk about the power of your voice. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'd say about 50% of the high schools we talk to, a student will come up afterwards and disclose some sort of sexual abuse or physical abuse. Because we talk about the power of your voice and who you can disclose to, and that we can be trusted. So there's a lot of things that this work with high schools really does and really helps, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah. We're talking to Melissa Price Smith, who is currently the prosecuting attorney of St. Louis County. You can vote for her again on August 4th in the primary. I know I'm asking a lot of 30,000-foot view questions, but I'm just interested. How often in your career, in dealing with defendants, do you see real remorse? I'm thinking about Kohlberger, who is obviously a monster. But I always think about how he's not a stupid guy. He must feel so stupid for doing what he did, and his whole life is over now. How often do you meet defendants who portray that, and you really believe them?
Well, first of all, obviously, when a defendant is represented by counsel, we're not allowed to have a separate conversation with them. When a defendant pleads guilty or is sentenced after a trial, they do get the opportunity to make a statement. I have seen that on very, very few occasions where they get the opportunity to address the victims and address the family. I will also say it doesn't mean they don't have remorse. I think in some of those situations, maybe their defense attorney advised them it's best not to speak. So I hope that there is remorse and understanding and healing and rehabilitation and all of those things. Like you said, in the case of Kohlberger, I truly believe, though, that some are just monsters. And then they don't feel anything about it, especially in the most heinous type of crimes.
I bet you've seen that in your own practice, looked into someone's eyes and just...
it's... I think the biggest realization for me is sometimes there will be a case, and just when I think I've seen everything, I'll see a more violent case. And what'll really shock me is, wow, this person walked amongst us till, recently when they were arrested, or recently when this incident happened.
Yeah.
And it really makes you pay a little bit more attention.
Yeah, I remember when Sean Hornbeck came out, and we were living in Kirkwood and would go to that Emos all the time.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and Maureen and I both said, I think I remember this guy.
Wow.
had just been out there the whole time doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy. Before we let you go, talk a little bit about the opposite, what you guys do to be there for victims and victims' families.
Well, as a prosecutor's office, we represent the state of Missouri, but we are a victim-centered office. We, when we get a case where there are victims in the case, could be anything from robbery, burglary, sexual assault, homicide, which would be the victim's family. We have an incredible victim advocate unit. Victims never go to court alone. We make sure that they are provided with any services they need. We also have, I'm not sure if I spoke about this last time, we have an incredible duo dog, support dog named Levi, who has changed the entire way we deal with child victims. So if a child, when we have to sit down with a child and they have to tell us some horrific details about their trauma, now that Levi is with us for the past several years, they can sit down with a big floppy dog and tell him instead of sitting at a cold table and telling us. Wow. And he can also go to court with these children and sit next to them on the witness stand, and they can just pet his head or hold his leash, and it gives them a lot more security. So our victim advocates, our victim-centered office, plus our duo dog Levi, these people who are victims in these cases, they're going through the trauma of their life, the storm of their life, and it is very important that we help them through this chapter so they can flourish on the other side.
Yeah. That's great. That's so great. That's Melissa Price Smith. The primary is August 4th. So whoever you vote for, get out there and vote. Always good to see you.
Great to see you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Hey there, it's Jill Schlesinger. I'm launching a new show. It's called Money Moves, and your money is going to move. We're going to help you make better financial decisions. We're going to call out the BS you're finding all over social media. We're going to give you actionable guidance to make your financial life clearer, less stressful. We're going to answer your financial questions and take the mystery out of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Moves with Jill Schlesinger wherever you get your podcasts.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Congress doesn't need more politicians. For nearly 30 years, Joan Von Dross dedicated her life to helping students learn, grow, and succeed. Now she's running for Congress to fight for lower healthcare costs, stronger public schools, and a more affordable future for Missouri families. Teachers solve problems. Politicians play politics.
I'm Joan Von Dross, Democrat for Missouri CD2, and I approve this message. Vote for me on August 4th.
Paid for by Von Dross for Congress.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Tell you guys about Timberline Professional Tree Care. I'm going to make it really simple because it is really simple. Most of you have trees in your yard and you don't think about them that much. I don't think about mine that much. And then maybe the leaves start falling in August instead of October. And you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Or maybe the bark is stripping off or you can see the roots coming up through the ground. Bottom line is this: any issue that you have with trees or shrubs or bushes on your property, you want to plant them, you want to remove them, you want to get rid of a stump, you think that your tree is suffering from something, but for the life of you, you don't know how to diagnose it, call Ben Barnett. He is a certified master arborist. He has 7 other certified arborists on his staff. Every job is going to have a certified arborist, including yours. They have this program for people who do look at their trees all the time. Like maybe you live in Webster Kirkwood and you have a 75-year-old tree that just makes the whole neighborhood. They can basically adopt that tree, tell you what the charge is going to be, and just come out and visit it from time to time to make sure that nothing ever goes bad. And if it does on their watch, they will remove it for no charge at all. Good people. Salt of the earth, make their livings with their backs and their brains. So you need something tree related, go to stltreecare.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Welcome back, DGS and KMOX. We have Dave Murray coming up at 3:35. Braxton Payne and Steve Ellman will be here for the Think Tank at 4. I saw a story last night about a family. I think they had 3 kids, and they were flying to a family reunion, and the 8-year-old girl threw a fit on the gangway because she's afraid to fly, and she was melting down, not like insanely, just like, I don't want to, I'm afraid. And they were like physically dragging her in, and then like the Southwest staff is like, we're not really comfortable with this. And what do you do? Like, it's one thing if it's a 2-year-old toddler, but a big 8-year-old kid, if they don't want to fly, do you just have to bite the bullet and not fly?
Boy, that's a great question.
Yeah, people are really divided.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you can't, maybe you go to the desk and you just say, like, hey, I don't really know what's going on. How can you help me? Not in terms of, somebody sneak up on my kid and knock him out and we can pull him on the plane, but like, can we reschedule the flight? Can I get some sort of, credit and maybe I can try and get a later flight once I can calm this one down or something like that. But you can't, I would also, if I were the Southwest staff, I'd be very uncomfortable with dragging a screaming kid who clearly doesn't want to be on this plane onto the plane.
It was traumatic to watch.
But you have, you can legally do that, I guess, right? If you're the parent,
yeah. As long as you're not abusing your child.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
But there are a lot of people on the plane that were like, hey, not our business, but
Yeah, I would definitely look for the way around, or like I said, try to reschedule the flight to a later time that day or maybe early the next day and maybe just see if you can try and figure out what's going on with the kid.
There's also got to be a way. You that couldn't have been the first time the parents heard about this fear. You might have wanted taken some steps on that, and maybe they did, and it just didn't work.
Well, the mom said, we gave all the kids Dramamine, which is supposed to settle them down, but we think we didn't give it to our oldest daughter soon enough. That was what she was saying.
I get it, but I'm talking about like if you think or know there's a chance your kid's going to be terrified, maybe you need to talk to a therapist in advance.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to take a step like, hey, what can we do to make this process easier more than just here's a pill? Because Dramamine helps because it makes you tired, but it's not like it's going to
Takes away your fear.
It's not going to cure anxiety.
Yeah.
Chris Ranchi and Amy Marks Kors connect you with the people, places, and conversations that bring our community together.
And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
And sinkholes. I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
From neighborhood happenings to local heroes, from everyday challenges to unforgettable stories. Chris and Amy, weekdays from 9 to noon on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
They say good things come to those who wait, unless you bite into a Hot Pocket right out of the microwave. Waiting to see a financial advisor about retirement could also bring some pain. The pain of watching your money evaporate in a stock market decline. The pain of trying to figure out Social Security and Medicare on your own. Or the pain of writing huge checks to the IRS that you really didn't have to. At the All Financial Group, they believe the more you know, the better decisions they can make. They offer a complimentary retirement assessment. Find out where you are, how you're doing, and if there's a way to improve your retirement outcome. Don't wait. Call the All Financial Group today, 636-230-8824, or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com and set up your complimentary retirement review.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
We got some trouble right now on westbound 64. There's an injury crash westbound 64 east of Lindbergh. At least it looks like the 3 left lanes are blocked, so traffic is a solid jam back to 170. And it's slow coming out of the city, so we'll say Bellevue to 170 slow, and then it's jammed from that point to the crash just before Lindbergh on westbound 64. After that, you're still backed up Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Highway 70. Westbound 70 out in the Westplex is east, just a little busy, a little slow around Zembel, so not a big deal there. Southbound 270, approaching 64 down to Bot Doherty Ferry, slow and approaching Gravois, it gets a little bit busy. Southbound 55 looking good all the way down into Festival. It may still be on the scene, but it doesn't look as bad now. But Lee May Ferry between Lindbergh and 255, roadwork on the Illinois side. Eastbound 5570 Exchange through 203, northbound 255 slow, midway up from 64 to 5570, and eastbound 64 jammed east of 157 to 159. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Relive the magic of the 1904 World's Fair when the heartwarming hometown favorite Meet Me in St. Louis returns to the Muni stage August 6th through 13th. Sponsored by Commerce Bank and Commerce Trust Company. Your seats are waiting at muni.org.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
Well, it's official.
My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I am just a cowboy, lonesome on the trail. A starry night, a campfire light. The coyote call and the howling winds wail. So I'll ride out to the old sundown.
Probably my favorite Thin Lizzy song of all time.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, great tune. Good choice.
I was a little worried because I feel like every time I pick a song that I don't know like immediately how it starts, it always starts with, two people going back and forth like, how you doing, Red? Well, let me tell you something, John. I'm doing just fine. And I'm like, just get to the guitar.
No, great tune. Great
Awesome.
tune.
Okay, good.
Dave Murray joins us, courtesy of Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center. Hello, Dave.
Hello there. I've never heard that song before, but I like it already.
I was going to say, I don't think I'd ever heard it either.
Oh, man, you need to listen to the whole thing. It's not like, it jams at the end, which is what I love about it, because it starts so mellow and then becomes classic Thin Lizzy. I just love that band.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a great band.
They came in one time, and I had one of my guitars there, and the lead guitarist grabbed my guitar and just started playing Thin Lizzy tunes. And it was really cool. Really cool. I'm like, oh, that's what that guitar sounds like. That's good to know.
And you said, hands off, that's mine.
Remember one time, my brother was always really good at putting me in my place. And when I was, 16 or so, I had a Fender Squier, like a lesser, cheaper guitar. And I was telling my brother, like, yeah, I really want to get an American Standard and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, really? Have you found the outside parameters of this instrument that it just cannot do what your fingers tell it to do? Which, of course, was ridiculous. And I'm like, shut up. But,
ouch.
Yeah, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, he always got me. So today's not a lot better, Dave, right?
No, but we're 88 right now.
Okay.
However, the dew point 75, so it's still very humid. Remember, the front was coming through between noon and 3. The cooler air, the drier air is about 200 miles behind.
Okay.
So that hasn't come in yet, but it's coming in. There's some showers and thunderstorms in central Missouri, south central Missouri. That's not a concern at all for us, but we're going to notice a slow drop off in humidity, a slow drop in temperature overnight tonight. It's going to take some time. 200 miles takes a while to cover. We're going down to 71 tonight. That'll be better than 80. And then tomorrow is gorgeous. Sunny, less humid, better temperatures, 88 degrees. Very comfortable day, especially for the end of July. Full moon Wednesday night, clear skies, 68. Thursday, sunny and great, 88 degrees. Now, the northwest flow is in control, and it's going to be in control all weekend long, but it's going to send these little impulses of energy or low pressure through the northwest flow Friday and Saturday, so there will be scattered showers and thunderstorms around. No all-day rain, but it's going to keep our temperatures in the mid-80s. There's no 90-plus in sight at least into early next week.
Great. Did I see some 70s over the weekend for highs?
It depends on how much rain we get with these impulses. I could see an 82 for a high, which means most of the day in the 70s.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be very close to that.
Nice. I need a windows open weekend. That would be nice, right? I was at the game last night when that weather blew through, and the weather always looks and feels different when you're in the stadium, right? You just feel like you're watching it on TV. But it was really cool. Like the lightning was really fascinating.
Yeah. You love to be able to see lightning around the arch.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is so great.
It was interesting because we were sitting out there, and it's definitely stormy, but it wasn't doing anything at the moment. And the usher came to us, the whole section, and said, "This is your final notice." I never heard this before. I guess it's a legal thing. This is your final notice. The Cardinals strongly urge that you go inside and take shelter. And people were grumbling. I'm like, well, I'm not going to make this lady's night harder. So I went inside, but yeah.
And you said, hey, don't you know I know Dave Murray?
Yeah.
He said it's still okay. Still okay right now.
I texted him right now. What do you want from me? Andrew, did you do headlines?
I did.
That sounds promising.
Wow, it really does.
I feel like I don't thrive with the headlines quite like some people.
You're doing great.
I'm working on it. All right. So, murder victim found at 40 years after she vanished from work. This is a Florida mystery that has lingered for 4 decades. Cape Coral, Florida. They found human remains discovered by kayakers in a canal in May 2024, and they figured out that it was a 23-year-old woman named Rose Marie Gayhart, who vanished in 1985. She was featured on Cold Case Files on Dateline, if you remember that show. It is now officially a homicide. She was last seen outside Big Howie's Hot Dogs, where she worked. And she was living with her boyfriend and his mother in a trailer park. She was reported missing by her parents. And her sister has long said that she believes that she was murdered by someone in that trailer park.
Huh.
So this case is being reopened, which is interesting. It's always interesting when you just think, I mean, if a cold case has been closed for 40 years, how could it possibly be, how could you possibly investigate that?
Dark question. Do you guys think you could successfully hide a body?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, me either.
I thought you were going to say get
now
murdered.
That I've done
and
it.
I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I could do that.
Well, see, the problem is,
I could get murdered.
It's hard to know exactly what to do to avoid getting caught without searching it, and now everybody's got your search history.
It's true.
I mean, I don't have any training of in the military or whatever. I don't have, if you're like a police officer and you investigate those things, I know what they look for. Well, I have none of those things.
London police hunting man dressed as lobster. He knocked another.
Shouldn't be that hard.
He knocked another man unconscious while dressed as a lobster.
With his claw?
Yeah,
I guess with his
claws.
claw hand. Yeah, they got big, sharp claws, I guess. He was attacked outside Alexandra Palace in London after the World's Darts Championship. And 7 months later, he is still dealing with serious issues from that. So this happened back in December, and they're still trying to figure out, they're just putting out, guys, we really need to find this lobster man. So they are redoubling their efforts.
So he was dressed as a lobster.
He was dressed as a lobster, knocked a guy out outside the darts
and then
championship.
just disappeared.
And ran off. And this guy now has, I guess, brain damage of some kind.
I'm not optimistic for them finding the lobster guy.
No.
They're not either, which is why they're redoubling their efforts.
One of the worst parts of that would just be telling that story your whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, what happened to your husband?
Mystery man in a lobster costume.
That whole thing.
Now, I do think I could hide a lobster costume.
Yes, that one I could hide. Yeah, I could hide a lobster body pretty easily, if you know what I mean. Colonel Sanders' home is for sale, with one notably very intriguing item for sale with it. Colonel Sanders' ties to Kentucky are loosening, and not just because KFC headquarters is now in Texas. The Shelbyville estate, where he once drilled franchisees on how to make pressure-cooked chicken, is going to auction, along with a trove of personal effects that includes his Bible, his knife kit, his trademark tie, the little black string tie thing that he wore, his old pressure cookers that he used to start KFC, and the most important item of all, his leather day planner from 1964, which contains a handwritten list of 11 herbs and spices.
How about that?
It is not known if this is the actual recipe itself or if it's just kind of a coincidence. Maybe maybe it was workshopping it, and that this was just a coincidence. But the real estate agent would not let people photograph it while they were taking pictures of like the lots for the auctions and the estate. Would not let them photograph it. And then also next door to it, the Claudia Sanders Dinner House, which was opened by Sanders and his second wife to showcase how his chicken and gravy should taste to like franchisees and people that were coming from out of town, is also for sale. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. The Colonel's a fascinating story. I remember listening to a self-help guy one time way back when you didn't have the internet to just look stuff up. And I didn't realize that the Colonel was so old when he started, and he was told no like 300 times or something. He would just go, restaurant to restaurant, like, hey, I have this recipe. Would you make my chicken? They're like, no, old man. And they finally got a yes, and the rest is history.
If you had the opportunity at an auction...
To kill the Colonel, yeah.
To hide the Colonel's body. If you had the opportunity at an
Pressure
auction...
cooker.
Broast him.
And you had the money... Would you go for something like that?
Hell yeah.
Like the original 11 herbs and spices, or like the Coca-Cola formula?
Yes.
Or...
If the Don Knotts suit that he always wore in Andy Griffith, the salt and pepper suit, had that came up for sale when I started making money, I would have bought it. I would have. I would have paid $10,000 for it.
Would you have worn it to work?
No, but I almost bought Vince Vaughn's outfit from Wedding Crashers when they're playing football.
Okay.
That was for sale for $1,000. And I'm like, for $1,000, if I just pull that out at parties, it's worth that. And
yeah, get a big display thing like they use for the bat suit.
Then I made the mistake of bragging to Maureen about what I was about to buy, and she was like, yeah, no, just no.
The account got frozen.
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
you're not buying Vince Vaughn's outfit and wearing it at barbecues.
My final story here.
Pretty sweet, though.
Dinosaur extinction may have taken only hours. All of their extinction. They was at once thought that it could have taken place over months or maybe even years. But it actually could have been just one really, really bad day. A new study in the Journal of Geophysical Research Biogeosciences argues that the asteroid that hit Mexico's Yucatan 66 million years ago likely cooked much of the life on all of land on Earth within mere hours.
Same way we'll cook the Colonel.
Thanks to a superheated shroud of rock vapor in the atmosphere. Using computer models and dust evidence from the impact layer, researchers found that this vapor blanket could have driven ground temperatures to lethal levels, igniting near-instant wildfires worldwide.
Yeah, they said that the rock and the dust in the atmosphere worked like a lid on a pressure cooker.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, like, we've always grown up seeing the animations, and you'll just see these dinosaurs look woozy, then fall over like they're drunk. And no, they probably just roasted from the inside. So
within an hour or two.
Wow.
They think that all life on Earth, essentially, on the surface,
nuts,
is just gone.
I don't know why, but I kind of like that better. Like that it was over fast as opposed to like taking weeks and months.
Oh, dude, if we get hit by an asteroid or a nuke, I want it to hit me in the balls. I don't want any of this.
Come right down on
10
my head,
miles
man.
outside the blast circle.
Right.
I don't want to do this post-apocalyptic.
No, I'll do very poorly.
I'll stick with the apocalyptic thing.
I'll be turning tricks for gasoline. Which I think I do very well at.
Yeah, I think I'd succeed.
Then once I get the gasoline, I can condense my power.
It's called being an entrepreneur.
That's what it's called.
Like the Colonel.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it, man.
Alrighty. Bye.
Do I have live here, Andrew?
You do. It's for Mr. Cantor.
Well, watch this. Flippity-doo. Tell you guys about attorney at law Mark Cantor, and you guys know I'm a little different about this live than most of my live endorsements. I'm much more aggressive, but there's more at stake, right? If you guys I don't know, if you go to a different steakhouse or you go get pizza from somewhere I don't represent and it's bad, you're going to be fine. But if you choose a plaintiff's attorney after you or someone in your family has been injured, it could be the difference in hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not saying that any of the plaintiff's attorneys out there, the ones who advertise on television all the time, are bad people. Not at all. Not even saying they're bad attorneys. Not at all. I'm just saying that in their advertising, they're not telling you anything worthwhile. You know, all the AI stuff and dunking on Wilt Chamberlain, it tells you absolutely nothing. With Mark Cantor, I can tell you a few things. He has been a plaintiff's attorney his entire career, hasn't jumped around. He's been doing it for decades. He has tried as many cases as any plaintiff's attorney, his age in the St. Louis area. He has a great record. Twice he's been named to the Lawyers Weekly Top 10 Power List, which most people never sniff the Top 1,000 list. He's been in the top 10 twice in his career. I personally like him. Even though I'm an agnostic, I like that his faith is so central to what he does and the pride he has in his family. So it all adds up very well for Mark. If you or someone you care about is injured and you think someone else may be to blame, call 314-628-9999 or check him out at CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, they're making headway with this crash westbound 64 before Lindbergh. They still have the 3 left lanes shut down, but it looks like there's a flatbed tow truck on the scene, so it doesn't look like there's as many pieces of equipment as there were. But westbound 64 is slow at Hampton, and it jams now at Big Bend all the way to Lindbergh. And again, the 3 left lanes are blocked. Southbound 170 delays at the Parkway. It's not a solid jam, though. Westbound 64 out in the Westplex, backed up Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70. 70 a little slow at 61, but 70 is also slow past the airport to the Rock Road and west of 94 out through Spencer. Kind of busy. You don't normally see it slow there. Southbound 270, 64 to Manchester is the busiest part. Westbound 44, Geyer to 270 in the right lanes, and then from the Merrimack out to Bowles is kind of slow. Southbound 55, a little busy midway down from M through Z. Roadwork delays on the Illinois side. On eastbound 64, it's jammed 157 to 159. Northbound 255, a little heavy, approaching 5570 as well. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Staples.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration.
Tired of your phone bill constantly going up? Stop the madness with Boost Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month. No contracts, no catches. And that $25 price is locked in forever. Switch to Boost Mobile today.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old-timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your politician's Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, compelling politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people. And the politicians' Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside 4 and 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, effectively ending our power to stop corrupt and out-of-control politicians.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom, 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the politicians' Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for Fair Government.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS and KMOX. Think Tank coming up at the top of the hour. People are bragging about things they're really good at, but don't like to tell people because they sound made up. This guy says, I can sew anything even though I have no training. I'm great at untying knots. Another person says, I'm the best Guitar Hero player in the world. One person says, and this would be one of my brags, I am ridiculously punctual, and I'm really good at judging, like, if it's going to take me 48 minutes to get to Wheeler's house, I'll get there in 48 minutes. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why being late is so abhorrent to me, because I don't like it when people are late to me, but I also don't throw a fit.
Right.
But it would just end me if I was late to a meeting or something.
I get it.
How about you guys? Superpowers?
I do care about punctuality.
Just don't care about how you say it.
I don't like punctuality. I don't think punctuality is a word.
Andrew's like, I'm the best.
That's what the lobster guy did to that dude.
Andrew's like, I'm the best at making up words.
I am really good at. I do that all the time when I'm like sending an email or a text or whatever, and then I realize
Just sounds right.
Yeah, then I realize like I don't think that's a word.
I do that too. Yeah, punctuality.
Yeah, punctuality.
It's every bit as good as the real word.
I love it.
That always makes me crazy too, when it's just like, so someone just said something once.
Yeah.
Someone said, oh, you're on time. You're like, I call it being punctual. They're like, punctual.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Tell you about Mark and Neil Gelman of the Gelman team, eXp Realty. This live is a lot like Mark Cantor, in that you were talking about the biggest purchase you're ever likely to make, the biggest investment. And I've done it a few times now. I was late to the game. I didn't buy my first house till I was in my 40s. And but I've done a few since then. And I really appreciate the difference between real estate agents. And I always say this, that if it were a medical condition, the more complicated it is, the more you need the best doctor you can find. A legal situation, the more complicated it is, you need the best lawyer that you can afford. And in the real estate market, we should do the same thing. We shouldn't just hire our friends who have their license or someone who plays golf with someone's brother-in-law. The Gelman team are established and verified. They have a track record. They do great. Like I said, I've done a few with them myself, and they were great at communication. Excellent at negotiating. I am not a good negotiator. I'm just not. Leave too much money on the table. They did not. If you want to find out what they think your home is